We're going live. We're live. We're live.
Okay, awesome. So we had a whole lot of fun this morning.
Yeah. What do you think happened?
No idea, no clue. Because like I said, for work I have to stream like 6 hours a day, and I really don't have that many problems. But I don't know because you're using a headset, and I don't know. It could be the site. Who knows?
Yeah, we might just have to figure out an alternative or something.
But it seems to be okay now.
Yeah.
So we'll just
So
move on. If something happens, we'll just
we'll
we'll just
figure it
we'll
out.
just call it quits real quick. We'll be like, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If it comes down to like a 15-minute episode, I mean, 15 minutes is better than nothing. So, um, you watched Hard Target last night, right?
Yeah, I did. It was
Uh,
awesome.
when was the last time that you watched it before? Bitch, let me close this.
It's probably been at least 7 years or something like that. I don't know, 5 years. It's been a little while.
Was it everything that you
Oh
remembered
yeah.
it to be?
Oh yeah.
Dude, was his hair as greasy as it as you remember?
Yeah. So I always, yeah. I mean, it's one of the takeaways of the movie. I always think his hair's so like it's so greasy but like crispy, and I can never figure out. But yeah, I mean, seeing it again, and this time I watched it on Blu-ray. So man, I got to see all the shine, all the details of the shine and the crunchy curls and stuff.
Dude, and
That
they were
mullet.
filming in Louisiana, so it was like extra hot, so it was like super sweaty and shit.
Oh hell yeah. I think it was just. I think like you said, it's just McDonald's grease, like fryer
Yeah,
grease.
like yeah, like he just goes and sticks it in a fryer and then walks on the set.
Something like that because it's all stringy. Like, I mean, it doesn't it kind of looks good because it's so bad, but like, it's really not good. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So, what has been going on in the life of the Dick this past week?
Uh, a mind-numbing amount of work that makes me hate myself, and then, but on the good side, I watched. I think I told you I watched Under the Skin, that the movie that has Scarlett Johansson full frontal in it several times. And that was a good flick. That's one I wish I would have seen at the theater, man, because several times she's just completely naked, and that would have been a good time to be like at the IMAX and stream
Yeah,
like a 30 foot
but
picture of
on the
it.
one hand, would you have pulled a Pee Wee Herman? Do you think? Like, do you think you would have just whipped it out and started like jerking it?
Well, no, I'm not an animal, man. But yeah, I might have.
Uh,
It would have been one of the pocket pool or something, or you wear a bigger coat and you kind of. No, I probably wouldn't have done anything, but it would have been nice to see that big.
I could see it. You and your detective hat just walking up and just going in all creepily and
Dude, there's one shot of her, and it's the whole image is just of her like pelvis and groin.
oh,
So you get to see. I mean, it's in shadow, so you can't see every detail of her cunt, but like you can see what kind she has. So you can imagine on like a 30-foot screen, that'd be quite a sight.
pretty good shot. Yeah, she's pretty fun, man. She's one of those actresses that I don't. I, I think she was pretty damn fine until she cut off pretty much all of her hair, and then she just kind of. I mean, let's be honest, that's still boner, but
Well, hair
um,
grows back, right? So
yeah, hair does grow back. I mean, she always had like one of the best asses in Hollywood, though.
dude, you get to see it. You get to see it many times in Under the Skin.
Under the skin.
Yep.
And now, is she a shaved girl? Or is she got a little bit of hair
Shaved. But
shaved?
the scenes that it shows her full, I think they purposely set the shadows just right. Like I said, that you can't see like every detail, you can't see her clit or anything, but you can tell that she has. So I don't know the terminology. Like some women, their lips like hang, and I think there's names for them, like the different kinds of cunts. Like some
Yeah,
are like droop, like they hang out. Hers are all tight, like in there. Like it, maybe they CGI'd it afterwards. I don't know, but hers weren't. She didn't have any of that hangout. It was all very sleek and kind of
dude,
tight folds.
I like to look at like hanging lips as like the ghost of Dick's past. like, like just someone who's like been through like a sea of cock is just got like this like curtain practically that you have to open, and it's like you're revealing a show. And like in opera, there's a lot of old shows that people know about. Like when you go and see Romeo and Juliet, it's something that's been seen and done before. That's how I view a pussy that has like a bunch of lips. It's something that's been seen over and over again, and you're spreading a curtain to just kind of go through a meh experience.
So I thought the same. I've never been with a woman that had like extremely dangling lips or anything, but like on TikTok I've seen some videos where apparently women are just they're claiming they're born that way. Like I've seen on TikTok like there's like a diagram that has like 20 different styles of like set up and they're claiming that's not from excessive use like you and I were thinking. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that too, and I think that's just an excuse for sluttiness, really.
It might be.
No, I mean, different. Okay, like just to go into my personal history, uh, there was a chick that I slept with a long time ago, and it was in a time when the Wiz was pretty desperate. But this chick had a ginormous clit, like ginormous, right?
Like pinky size or half a pinky?
I'd say half a pinky, and it was
Damn.
really
Jeez.
awkward, like going down on her because she was. It was almost like sucking a little miniature dick.
That's what I was gonna say, man. That's like a yeah, that's like sucking an enormous nipple or something.
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely a weird experience, and
But you did, right? You went to
yeah, I
town on that
mean,
little thing.
you got to. I mean, it's not like you're like sucking a cock or anything. So the way I see it is I've got no shame over it because it was a woman. She did, it wasn't some like tranny off the street or something that I just picked up and had a small dick. And she was a woman, but she just happened to have a big clit. So,
Did you ever ask her about it? Like how'd you get this monster?
well, she brought it up before I even saw it. She was like, "Just to give you a heads up, I got this thing." And I didn't
Did,
think it was going to be as big as it was. I mean, if she had a pierced clit, it would probably look like something out of Mad Max or something.
oh god.
Like,
Did she have a reason? Did she say, "Oh, I used to like beat the hell out of it with like a vibrator or something," or was there any
no, just
trauma? It was just that was how she was born.
that's just how she was born, man. Like, I I think she was about to be a hermaphrodite, and the good Lord had some pity on her and was like, "Oh, I'll just curse you with this."
So if she had been born full dude, she probably would have been hung, huh?
Probably walking around with like an 8-inch dick or something. Yeah.
I
Uh,
can't say I've ever had that. Usually, the ones I've been with are, those are those little pea-sized ones that you got to kind of hunt for. You got to like grab that pubic mound and peel it back, try to find that little gem hiding in there.
yeah, but those are the fun ones. Now, are you speaking of hunting down and finding? Are you one that likes to like go down on chicks, or do you just kind of like to just get to business?
I mean, it kind of depends. I mean, I will. I don't have anything against it typically. I've never been with like a squirter, so that might change it. I don't know. I don't want to get like fucking waterboarded or something.
As you go down, you start looking, and she just starts shooting in your eye.
Yeah, I don't want to like drown down there. So I don't. But no, I don't have any problem with it. Do I like
Um,
it? I mean, I like it as much as they want it or like it.
yeah,
It's like if a chick really enjoys it, I'll do it. If she doesn't, if that's not her thing, I don't like miss it and like you better let me do it. You're
yeah.
gonna enjoy it.
You know, there's like wet, and then there's too wet, and I've had a
It's always
combination.
just wet. We've all been there where like your nose is wet and then you got like a pube in your teeth and then it's like dripping on your chin and like you're sweaty because she keeps putting the cover on you because she's insecure and you're like fuck man. It's always a chore.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Women are are definitely a mystery in sexuality. Like there,
No.
we talked about this a little bit, like our on our first unrecorded podcast where we were discussing like it would just be so much better if they just got to the point of what they like rather than beat around the bush.
I think they know what they like. They're just embarrassed. I think they just want to be plowed. Just yeah, I don't think they want to. I think they even want to, on some level, think they don't want it. I think they just want to be taken.
Yeah.
Which
So
I mean, obviously, that desire doesn't. That desire is always like a fresh desire. That's not something like you've been married 40 years and you don't have that same passion to just like take somebody like that.
yeah, the one thing about like getting married and stuff, you have to do shit to keep it interesting, to keep your sex life interesting. Because I just see it being there's only I've heard it said that the best part of the relationship is the first 3 months, and I'm 100% convinced of this. That's when she's the most willing, and that's when you're on your most best behavior. Like you two are just getting completely along, and I can only just imagine. Like I was married for 6 years, and it just got worse and worse and worse after a month, and um, I couldn't imagine what the sex life of someone who's been married for 20 years would be like.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was
I
your?
can't imagine 6 years. So
Yeah, I mean, but you were like you've had long-term relationships before, right?
yeah, but the longest was only like 3 years, and even that, man, that was like too much. Like I'm with you. 3 to 7 months is like the golden time. I think because you're just supposed to get the chick pregnant and bail. Like, and maybe neither of you want to admit that, but I think that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I mean, from from like an evolutionary standpoint, that kind of makes sense. Like, you always hear that men are there to pretty much just have sex with whoever and have as many partners and just spread their genetics as much as possible, and that's why we have high testosterone.
Well, and it's a conquest that's maybe the most fun. Is like finding a chick and then like convincing her to go to bed with you, right? And that like the most fun of it all. And then kind of after you've done it a few times, you're like, and who's next?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, yeah. Let's be
I know
honest.
you don't want your chick to hear this. You're gonna get yourself in trouble here. So
She's
no,
hearing
you
it.
you
She's walking by right now.
no you over. All right, you do you play the good guy. You just pretend. We'll know what you really mean, but
Here,
you can say the right things for
I'll
her.
I'll put on this like nice little vest of security and just be like, you know what? It's about what's in the heart, and you just got to stay with someone and find someone who loves you for you, and that you know what? It's all bullshit, man. Like I I know people who have men, and this is just doesn't go towards women. Like um, people in different relationships always like I don't want to name names or name situations, but I know a guy who's been married for fuck, I want to say 26 years and stuff. He took good care of this woman while she was basically going through some health issues, having to be in a wheelchair and stuff. And she's gotten better. His health has turned the corner.
Don't tell me
And
she bailed.
pretty much, man, like
Oh,
currently she's over in England doing whatever the fuck she wants, and this guy is kind of left to his own devices. Like he can't work, he can't, he's trying to get his health better and stuff. And
wait. Whoa, you're telling me love isn't forever?
no,
What?
no,
You're
dude,
telling me love is not unconditional? Wait,
it,
what?
love is definitely conditional, and especially, I've always heard it said in like maybe will offend the one or two people that will listen to this, but let's just be real now. MGTOW, they have some points, and
Oh hell yeah.
I've heard it said in MGTOW, men are the romantics. We're the ones that idolize or idealize the relationship, and the romanticism of it all. And really, women from the MGTOW point are just looking for security and a wallet. And
Well, and talking about romance, this is how it goes. Women are like, I'm so romantic. I love romance. It's because the dude does all this shit for you. Like the woman
yep,
doesn't do the romance part. It's like the guy gets the dinner, gets the flowers, does this, takes them to their most spectacular date, and chicks are like, "Ooh, I love rom." Well, of course you fucking love romance. Who the fuck doesn't love somebody doing all kinds of shit for you all day? But that doesn't like get reversed for the guys. You know what I mean? It's not like, uh, they
dude.
don't. Go
A
ahead.
walk to remember with Mandy Moore. You remember that one?
The kid that was dying or something.
Yeah, with Mandy Moore, where she's dying of leukemia. If that had
Okay, it's
been,
her that was dying. I couldn't remember who
yeah,
was dying.
there's a
Yeah,
scene where he does all this stuff once she finds out she has leukemia, and he like takes her to the county line because she wants to be two places at once. Like that's the most jerk off thing I've ever fucking heard in my life, anyways. But
okay.
she she wants to be two places at once, so he takes her to the county line and stand, and she's like, "What am I doing here?" And he's like, "You dumb bitch, you're two places at once." And no chick would ever do that for a guy. Like we would just be in a hospital dying, and she'd be putting on Twitter, "My boyfriend's almost dead, and I feel so sad."
Dude, I
And
think her
looking for
two
the
places
next
at
dude.
once. Her two places at once was her way of telling him she wanted some double penetration there. I think he misread it.
Dude, can you imagine if she was like, "I want to be two places at once"? Okay, so I'm gonna bring in a black dude to plow you in the puss, and I'll get you in the ass. That's two places at once because you're in Africa and England at one time.
She- exactly. I think that's what she was hitting at, and he just misread
Yeah,
it to like something sentimental.
yeah. Get a colonialist and a fucking jungle boy on both ends. That's two places at once: Africa and pretty much Europe.
But yeah. I mean, you're right. I don't think the well. I mean, there are women that do stuff for guys, but I'm just saying well, mostly women claim they're so romantic, but it's like who's the one actually doing the romance? There's
Yeah,
like the giver and the receiver, and then the receiver, they're all like, "Oh, I love it. I love romance." Well, of
yeah.
course, you're on the good end of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: like, I don't want to be unfair to my girlfriend. Uh, she's and I love listening to MGTOW people. There's one dude that I listen to a lot named Undead Chronic, and I'm sure he would probably have something to say about what I'm about to say. But my girlfriend is good. She's one of the good ones. I'm pretty lucky, and I've dated a lot of fucking asshole, bitchy women. And so when I make my generalized statements, it's not necessarily towards her. So, and she's not listening in the background, so I don't have to say that. She's
Well,
back
for
in.
our listeners, she is listening in the background. And let me lay this out for you. What he's saying is that she still blows him. So things are good because she's still blowing them or doing something like that.
Something like that.
He's like she's one of the good ones, well, because we're still fucking, and so
I mean, touch base with me in 20 years, and maybe I might be preaching a different gospel. But I don't know, man. But anyways, so speaking of Pee Wee Herman, because we talked about Pee Wee Herman about I want to say 20 minutes ago, just about. Have you ever jerked off in a adult theater?
oh, I've never even been to an adult theater.
Did but the city that you live in, they have them, right?
Houston.
Yeah. Well, you're not supposed
So
to
like
say the
growing.
city.
Well, no, it doesn't matter. I think
Yeah.
I said it last time actually. I think I said something about because I think we talked about you in Oregon because we talked about fires or something, and I think I
Yeah,
said
yeah. Oh well, that was the original one that we didn't record, but
there's
yeah,
been
I
some point where I talked about guns or something in Texas, and so growing up, there are places that look like they might be theaters, but they're so kind of shady and mysterious. You're not really sure if it's just a video depot or something. I mean, I went to the adult video stores when I was 18, but no, I never went to one of those. those theaters, man. They look they look pretty trashy. I don't know. Have you been to one?
No, there's one by Voodoo Donuts in Portland. Um, I don't currently live in Portland now, but I used to live in Portland for an extensive part of my life. And you'd always see like it kind of open, but nobody was really ever walking in or out. So it's kind of one of these. It was weird. It's in an old building, literally right next to Voodoo Donuts. So as you're standing in line for donuts, there's this adult theater, and every now and then you'd see some dude like just kind of wander in and stuff. But um,
So do you know? Is it like a shared theater? Because I've been seeing these things. I guess it's maybe a new style theater. I don't know why. I don't know why I made it go with the internet, but they are these kind of those photo booths where you go in and pull the curtain.
oh yeah,
It's kind of like a
it's,
changing room. So I've
yeah, it's
seen
a
ones
private room.
online where it's like a changing room, so it's individual. And you're allowed to, I think, beat off in there a little bit.
Oh yeah, like I had a friend who went in there with his girlfriend at the time, and they put on a video, and they just boned right there. They just fucked right on the bench,
So it
and
was an individual
no,
stall.
you can no. Well, this porn store I had been in there before, and I even went in there and viewed, but it was kind of weird for me because it was just kind of like you don't know if there's like any hidden cameras or anything, so I didn't want to be
Yeah,
there and like have my own video turn up on Pornhub, like watch this fat fuck jerk off in Eugene, Oregon, or something. But
hello,
can you hear
hello.
me?
Okay, yeah. I
Okay,
think I got dropped real quick or something.
yeah, it might have been you. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I watched a clip for a bit. Like a friend put in a couple bucks, and he was like, "Oh, enjoy," and he went into the other one, and it just was too weird for me. Like I wouldn't have gotten like there was no excitement to it.
Yeah, that's
Now,
understandable. I mean, and why do people go? Who would go and not just sit at their house and like pull up the internet or something?
exactly, internet. You got the privacy of your own home. You've got all the benefits. You got tissues. You're not sitting on somebody else's cum. Like, what is there to
Yeah.
lose with just staying at home? Well,
Well,
now,
so
oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go.
Well, I was just gonna say, well, now with like coronavirus and stuff, not only do you have to worry about catching someone else's like venereal disease or AIDS by sitting on a bench and jerking off in a pornography store or whatever, but you got to worry about catching COVID too. So
That's true. I'm sure that's a business that's hurting too because of
yeah,
COVID.
porn stars.
Yeah. So let's see. So if you couldn't get off in the theater, do you get off much when you go to a strip club?
Hell no. The funny thing is I was talking to a coworker and he's from the Philippines, and he didn't know uh, that prostitution is illegal in America, which I
Oh,
thought was interesting. Like, and so I had to like give him an education and basically tell him, look, if you're ever gonna go to the town that's closest to us, because there's a strip club there, and I imagine that there some of the girls there are working girls, but if you're ever gonna go there and uh, try to solicit someone for prostitution, at least make sure you're within the legal requirements of not getting busted. Like, you're not soliciting them for prostitution. Take a camera and make a porn. And so I'm hoping he follows my advice. I think he's kind of sheltered and stuff. He lives with his mom, but he's a really good dude. And we were just talking about like he's one of the dudes that I watch uh videos of women competing in the long jump and all this stuff. And he told me about this one chick. I'm going to butcher her name. I don't want to look it up right now because I don't want us to get disconnected. But when you're off, look up. I know her last name is Jenneke or Jenica, something like that. Jenneke. And look up Hurdle. And this chick does this really sexy dance before she does the hurdling just to like limber up and get ready. She'll shake her hips and stuff, and she's gotten famous for that more than her hurdling. But
It's a weird claim to fame. My, but I guess I don't know. Maybe a lot of them are pretty attractive, but
Yeah, I find that the female athletes are kind of hit or miss. Some of them are like they've got really great bodies, but then their faces are kind of fucked up. But I mean, I could live with that. My standards aren't so high that I couldn't live with that. If someone's got like a nice ass and a nice body and they're keeping themselves together, I could deal with
I couldn't
uh,
live with that. No. Well, it depends how long you're talking about living. I can't. I don't want to live a lifetime with that.
well, I'm not talking like who let the dogs out where they're like just
No, I
completely.
was joking because I can't live a lifetime with any chick.
Yeah, that's true.
I can
But
barely live a lifetime with myself. How the hell am I going to pull somebody else into it?
yeah,
Well, I wonder if she gets famous enough from doing a dance if she'll start having competition and slowly the art of what sport did she do?
hurdling.
Oh, so then over time, the sport of hurling would become a strip show and then a hurdle.
That
Like
wouldn't be
the
too bad.
competition will start to grow. Somebody will dance, and then eventually somebody will start stripping, and then eventually they'll just start having this whole stripper dance before hurdling.
Well, I know she's famous for her dance more than she is for her hurdling. Like her video, like just went viral, and
Well,
she's
that's what I
got.
mean. Is that like if she's the only one doing it, there's no competition, so it won't take long for at least one other girl to be like, "Oh hell no," I'm
And
gonna beat her at that. And then another girl will come, and then another, and slowly it'll be like the thing to do.
yeah, the one thing I worry about with that though is like all the trannies coming into women's sports. Can you imagine if stripping became a part of it? they just they take off their bra. They got some like freshly minted breasts just that were installed like a month ago. You can still kind of see a little bit of the scars, but then to make matters worse, you see a pair of hairy boys just kind of dangling around.
Well, I don't know. I'll take that risk if it means all the other girls strip before they hurdle.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be worth it. So, is there any news that you've seen over the last week that you've just been like, what the fuck is going on with that?
No, I don't watch the news except yesterday I was on TikTok and they're talking about Trump got COVID, so I turned on the TV to like double check.
Oh,
That was all. That's the only thing I've seen this week.
did he actually get COVID or?
Yeah, yeah, him and the first lady, they're in the hospital, or he's in the hospital. I don't know if she is, but he's in whatever penthouse, hospital office or whatever, getting
Yeah,
treatment.
that's funny because wasn't he saying that like I forget what it's called, hydrochloride or whatever?
Yeah,
I don't remember what.
chloroquine or something.
Yeah, yeah. Wasn't he like swearing by it that it was going to keep him safe?
Yeah, well, apparently, well, I don't even know because I don't know if it's. I mean, just because. So TikTok said it happened. And I was like, well, we'll double check. And I went to like ABC News or something, and they confirmed it. But even them confirming it doesn't mean that it's not. It could just be some.
He could have gotten a test and
It could just be totally fake. I mean, maybe it's just like a grab at attention. Because now I heard about it. Somebody that doesn't turn on the news at all now knows. So like, it could have just been an attention grab, and they're like, yeah, he has it. And maybe afterwards they will try to utilize that in some manner for, oh, look how easy it was to get over, or I don't know, who knows. But
yeah,
the
yeah,
news says it's real, so that's as real as we know it is. I don't know firsthand or anything.
yeah. Do you hear that?
Yep, little
That
cat.
little bastard yelling at me. I might mute myself here in a minute if he just keeps doing it and toss him outside. uh, he's a little asshole. We got him fixed. He used to be kind of cool, and then he got because of my encouragement. I was like, he just needs to go get laid. Like he needs to go out and like experience nature's fruits. And my girlfriend was against it because she was like, yeah, I mean, she's a responsible pet owner and stuff, and she was like, I don't want some like stray feral cat to get knocked up because then we'll have to take him in. And I was like, oh, that won't happen. He'll just go out and get his nut. And as soon as he got his nut, dude, I thought it would like calm him down. He went crazy. Like he just started going crazy, and now that he's gotten,
Dude, he found the meaning of life.
yeah, well, now that he's gotten neutered, he's just a little bitch. Like he
Well,
used to
how would you
be.
feel if you got laid one time and then your parents cut your nuts off?
Well, he got laid multiple times, and it was because of
Oh,
me. And he's like the biggest bitch towards me. Like he's just like staring at me all the time and just meowing. And it's like, dude, I gave you the meaning of life. Like we let you out of the house because of me. You went out, you fucked this cat, and you also beat the shit out of her because well, there was one night where I was asleep and my girlfriend like just all of a sudden wakes me up and she's like, "There's something going on outside. There's something going on outside," and it sounds like our cat is pretty much being put to death. But it turned out he was beating the shit out of the cat that he was boning,
dude,
and
like I said, he found the meaning of life.
yeah, fucking
Okay.
fucking the chick that you're with and beating her, I guess.
You know,
But
each chick likes her thing. Maybe that cat was just told him what she liked.
yeah, well, my girlfriend did research on like cat fucking, and she found out that, hey, babe, no, just verify. You can nod if you, but I want to get this right for scientific purposes.
Because we're all
There
scientists
was,
here.
yeah, so basically, when she did some research, and she's a big animal person. She loves animals, and she did research on cat fucking. And what she found was that the male cat will actually bite down on the neck and pin the female down to the ground, and then he inserts his penis, and it's got barbs. Right? Is that right, babe?
Yeah, they get
It's got,
stuck together, right, for like
yeah, they
hours.
get a barb, and they get stuck. Right, babe? That's right. Yeah, she's nodding. She doesn't want to be a part of it. She's just smiling and nodding.
Yeah, they get stuck for hours, and then they
Yeah,
like
her neck
try to
hurts.
fight each other or something.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's like pretty much rape. So our cat Monty, which is a suiting name because the little fucker is an asshole, and Monty is the most tyrannical name that you can ever come up with, and I'm actually the one that came up with it because she wanted to go with prince and princess names like
Oh
Prince.
god.
Yeah, she wanted to go with her other cat was Princess Mew. And so I was like, well, what about Prince Montague from like Romeo and Juliet? Thinking that that might
Yeah.
actually like reform the little shit. And it turned out that he turned into a little fucking pompous antichrist that goes around raping other cats in our neighborhood. So that's our cat. And now he's a whiny little bitch because he doesn't have his nuts. He
He's
just
probably
comes up.
whining like, "Hey man, where are my nuts, man? You better let me out. Where are they? I'll go find them. If you can't
He,
find them, I'll find them."
yeah, that's what Disney needs to make is a movie about a cat going and trying to find his nuts after he got a fucking after he got neutered.
Dude, like those old Homeward Bound movies where the animals would get
Yeah,
lost and find
exactly,
their way home.
exactly.
What
Or
what would
like
the movie be called though?
well, with my cat, it would be called "Little Asshole Looks for His Fucking Nuts." But uh, it, like the Benji movies and all those. There was one when I was a kid. Fuck, it was
Milo and
called
Otis.
Milo and Otis was a good one. That was a good one. Did you know they actually threw a fucking cat off
Oh
the
yeah.
off the
Oh, they did. They
waterfall?
did tons of things. Dude,
Yeah,
the bear fight with was it the dog or the cat? They had like 40. Can't remember if it was the dog or the cat that fought the bear, but the bear killed like 40 animals, and they
but with all the animal cruelty aside, the Japs know how to make a fucking movie, dude.
do they do. But if you ever watch one of those documentaries about the making of that, it's like
Like,
one of the levels of hell for
yeah,
those animals.
it's like the Holocaust for animals. Do you
Dude,
think
it
they
is.
put Do you think they put little stars on their chests just because they knew they were gonna die? Like,
I don't know. It's some kind of satanic ritual caught on
yeah,
film.
yeah. But the funny thing is that's like a beloved family film of mine. Like I look back on that one and just like with such
But we
like
didn't know at the time. It wasn't until like maybe in the 2000s, early 2000s, when it kind of got when the internet was growing and then the news got around. Because before then, you just didn't even know. You thought it was made like the way Homeward Bound was,
yeah,
somewhat,
just using
kind.
effects. And, yeah, yeah. I mean, because Homeward Bound was was made, and they had like a cougar scene and stuff. But you know that those dogs weren't like actually around the cougar and fighting the cougar.
No, no. I mean, didn't Michael J. Fox voice the dog or something?
Yeah, and that's
So
why the
no, I
dog.
mean, yeah, if
That's why the
Michael J.
dog
Fox is
walked the
involved,
fuck out.
they're not killing those animals.
Yeah, I actually heard that the dog from Bound actually contracted Parkinson's from Michael J. Fox sexually.
Uh, you gotta
Now
watch
that
out for that.
they take pills and shit.
But you can't say. I mean, who wouldn't have fallen victim to that if you were around Michael J. Fox?
Yeah, I mean, well, Michael. I will say one thing about Michael J. Fox is he seems like one of the more innocent Hollywood celebrities. Like he doesn't seem like he'd be like a person that would like have this dark past behind him.
Oh, and I bet he does. Well, I don't know about dark, but if you're a teenager and you have that much fame,
Oh
you
yeah,
know he was chasing
he's
tail
always
and just
getting some good
plowing
head.
everything.
Yeah, he was getting some good head. And the funny thing is like I watch movies as an adult, and I'm like, dude, he even when he was an adult, he kind of still had this like childlike manner to him.
Oh hell yeah, he always looked like a kid. Even when he was doing that show. Oh, what was that Office show he did? I can't even recall now. But he was like, what was he like, 35 or 40, and he still looked like he was 18 or something, 17.
There's like a big benefit to that, but at the same time, it's like with that, do you like exchange having a big dick for that, or like I want to know like all the theories, like what what would qualify for someone to have like a big dick? Maybe it's just that I don't know. It's weird because like with childhood celebrities, they just never seem to grow up. To me,
Yeah,
they just
yeah, I
never.
don't know. And he never he never like looked like he grew a beard or anything. So I don't know if maybe it was a hormonal
Yeah.
issue or something.
Well, I mean, like Haley Joel Osment has been in some stuff, and I would always see him as a kid, but I think it's just because he's gotten fat.
I don't know who that is.
It's the kid from Signs from uh,
Oh, signs.
not Signs, not Signs. The
Oh,
Sixth
Sixth
Sense.
Sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
I see dead people.
Yeah, because we were watching Future Man, and he's in Future Man.
Yeah, that show is good, man. Like
Did you
that.
ever finish it?
No, I haven't. I need to
Oh,
go back and finish it.
did you make it to season 3?
They have season 3 out now, or have they?
I think there's 3 seasons.
Yeah, I think there is. Like, isn't that the one where Joe Rogan kind of comes in and stuff?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't remember. I got to the
No.
point where they were back in the future, and Haley Joel Osment is like a, pretty much just a apparition. He's, basically a computer simulation, and
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're getting close to the last season. You're
yeah,
pretty close.
yeah, that's
But
it.
it's a hard show to remember because so much changes. That show's like off the wall. Like from one episode to the next, it changes so much. It's hard to even remember what happened because there's like, you watch a season and it wasn't like 3 or 4 dramatic shifts. It was like 38 dramatic shifts. And you're
Yeah,
like, it's hard to even remember or keep up at some point. But yeah, it's a really good show.
yeah,
And yeah, I know who you're talking about. He does look like a kid still.
yeah, it's fucking hilarious though, that show.
Yeah, yeah, it was. I liked it a lot.
So Trump's in the hospital. The news that I heard about this week wasn't Trump being in the hospital. The one that touched my soul was Rick Moranis being punched.
Oh yeah, I saw a video of that.
Yeah, yeah, and it looks like the dude is like African American. Oh shit, he just went. Well, I guess I just by my time. Wait, here he is. There you are.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it happens. But it looks like the dude is like African American, and I'm wondering,
Yeah,
not
he
because
is.
African American, but there's really literally no reason to punch a random stranger, especially Rick Moranis. Like that dude. It, okay, I said Michael
So
J.
the video I saw, it just showed from, well, the one, I don't know if there's more than one video, but the one I saw, you couldn't even tell it was Rick Moranis.
No.
It's just like some guy, and it's up in the top corner of the screen, so it's hard to even see. And he gets hit and goes down, and then the black dude walks off, and it kind of zooms in on him because I think they're trying to get his face out there. But did the article you read say anything about why he'd punch Rick Moranis?
No, it was all random. It was like completely random. He just walked by, saw him, and decked him.
And did they
And
find the guy that punched him?
I don't know. I didn't follow up with it. The one thing that I'm interested to know though is it like related to like, because let's be honest, in the big cities, not necessarily in the small towns, but in the big cities, there's definitely more of a, I guess you could say, a racial divide depending on where you're at. Maybe. Um, so I'm wondering if it had something to do with like what was the motive? Maybe he was just a fucking dick who was just pissed off and wanted to take it out on
Yeah, that's
some.
what I'm wondering. If he would have just punched any white guy walking around, maybe he's just going to punch anybody. I guess over time we'll find out
Yeah.
more about the exchange there. So I guess it's a story right now because it's Rick Moranis and
Yeah.
people
Well,
love
I
the guy.
titled the name of our podcast. That way, when people look it up, they'll find our
So
podcast.
do you think do you think it's possible that this headline is a setup,
Like
like Tony?
which
So, oh, are we breaking up?
no, we're not.
Okay. So basically, apparently, prior to this headline, I heard a headline that it said Rick Moranis is going to try to make a comeback because before he quit because his wife died and he had to take care of his girls and he didn't want to be any part of the spotlight or anything. I heard he's coming back and it's for Ghostbusters or something,
No.
or he's trying to make a comeback. And then after that happens, he gets punched. So I'm wondering, do you think it could be a fake kind of thing just to get a headline and his name back out there and people talking about him again?
Dude, if it was, that would be genius on one hand, but at the same time, I would think he was a little bitch. Like I couldn't respect that. Like
But
he
how will
could
we
do
ever
that.
know?
Yeah, but I mean, he could come back to Ghostbusters and be just fine, and come back and do like easily. He could come back and do a Honey I Shrunk the Kids like movie with Disney. They would probably love to do a reboot of
Dude, they
that.
wouldn't even shrink him anymore. It'd be like, honey, I virtualized the kids. And then it'd be like a
Yeah.
virtual world or something.
Oh yeah,
It'd be
and they
like
could. He could easily like Martin Short has made, and I make a comparison between the two because they've got some shit in common. I think. Um, Martin Short has made his career over the last several years off of playing like in shitty little kids movies, like the Santa Claus 3, where he's like Jack Frost, and some other movies. And Rick Moranis could easily do that with Disney. He could get smaller roles where he's not going to be necessarily a headliner, but
oh, he could get lots of work doing anything,
yeah,
probably.
he doesn't need to get decked by some random stranger in order to get roles. But if he did do that, I would be like, man, that's like the most bitchiest move.
I'm just theorizing. I'm just making shit up because I did, I just kind of, whenever you don't see anything firsthand and it's on the news, there's always a potential that it's,
Well, like you
fake
said,
in some sense.
I think if like the funny thing is that all the media outlets and stuff are making a big deal about it being Rick Moranis and stuff, like he's still super relevant.
Yeah.
And he's
Like I
not.
said, he's trying to make that comeback, though.
Yeah. Have you ever
'Cause
seen? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, he's been recently I saw him in a commercial on TV, and they don't even utilize him. They just make a joke that it's Rick Moranis, and that having him there is like validates the product. Like they don't even like try to do a pitch. They're just like, oh, look, it's Rick Moranis. Oh, he was really cool. And that's
Yeah.
That's the commercial.
I mean, he is one of those people, though. I don't want to speak too highly of Rick Moranis,
Well,
but
he was good, and he went on a high note, and it wasn't like, it wasn't like some people where they lose steam. Like he was full force, and then his life changed, and he kind of bailed. So I guess.
well, and I respect to him for that he took the time to raise his family. So I mean, respect to him for that. He chose his family over Hollywood career. And the funny thing is I think if he would have actually tried, he had the same appeal that Tom Hanks had, which was kind of like an everyman. He could have easily picked up like everyman type of roles, you know.
For real. Could you imagine him, Rick Moranis, and the Da Vinci Code?
No, I can imagine that. What I was thinking was Castaway.
Oh yeah,
You know,
the movie would have been totally different with Rick Moranis.
well, he's got kind of like a nasally voice, doesn't he? If I remember correctly, like he would have been like Wilson, Wilson.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever seen Strange Brew?
Strange Brew.
Yeah, it's a weird movie. It's like one of his originals. Like he started off, I think, on like Canadian, like the Canadian equivalent of Saturday Night Live, and he had this buddy, and then they kind of made like their version, I guess, of Jay and Silent Bob, but it's about drunks instead of stoners, and they're two brothers that go to this brewery, and they pull this trick like they found a dead mouse in a beer bottle to try to get free beer. And they go to this brewery, and there's like this evil scientist that's running experiments and like all this other stuff. It's interesting. It's not. It's one of those movies. My ex-wife got it for me because she was like, "Oh, I know that you like these weird movies and stuff," and I watched it, and it was actually kind of a chore to get through, but it was interesting enough to keep watching.
Yeah. So you're not recommending it, but if you happen to see it,
no, I guess if you want to go into the filmography of Rick Moranis, you know, if you want to pay to the man who took a hit for us.
I was gonna. So since he got punched, you think, what if like another another comedian, a movie comedian, like tried to Nancy Kerrigan him? They like paid the dude to go punch him.
That could be a possibility. Like someone afraid of stealing their thunder.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, Rick Moranis is coming back, and so I need to have this dude like do a Tanya Harding on Rick Moranis. Is what you're saying.
I'm just making stuff up. Don't take that serious.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I would say is, for one, I didn't know that that Rick Moranis was planning a comeback. I knew that he left, but you know, I think what they really need to do is just like my damn. Did you go out? Okay.
Yep.
You there?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to remember where you left off.
Oh, well, I was saying, I noticed you went off, and then I was just like, oh. But I think it's anytime that I leave this stream, something weird goes on. Like you get booted out, or there's like a lag. So I just got to stay in here and just try to go off.
Oh, were you were like going to another tab or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
I doubt that's it. That can't be it, though. I think I'm just, I don't know.
Yeah, that could be. Well, I mean, we've been completely fine for about an hour. And when you first came on, I had music going on YouTube because I was like, you know what, it'd be funny to put this song on there while it's going, and I don't have like all the tools to like, you know, make this a professional thing yet. But what I was saying is pretty much irrelevant. I was just gonna make a joke about like the police officer who was on George Floyd's neck, pretty much being Rick Moranis' bodyguard or investigating the case or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, so you're saying that Floyd traveled through time and went to the future, and then hit Rick Moranis, went back in time, and then the time police came and got him?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I did have an interesting theory that I was gonna like proposition on something else, and I'll just mention it briefly here. As politically incorrect as it may be, I thought it would be funny. I don't even know how to go into this.
Well, we should start off by saying we were gonna have. You can see the Wiz has a picture of the cop. I was gonna have George Floyd with the purple fedora, but since I'm on my phone, I didn't have the. Well, number one, it wouldn't let me upload a picture, and two, I didn't have that picture up on my phone anyway. So.
Yeah, yeah. I was just gonna basically go with. I was watching this thing and I was thinking, what if it was all wrong and all the cops were actually like the heroes in all these cases? Like, I don't even know how to go into it, so I'm not even going to. It'd probably be something to like write out and explain, but if I explain
Well, I
it this
mean, you're
way,
not totally off base. There are people that I'm sure there's people that think the cops are correct
oh yeah,
and the hero in that situation.
oh yeah, uh, yeah. I wonder what
And
that cop.
even to some extent, I agree. Maybe not a hero, but I mean, they're doing their job, and um, so when people are resisting or having problems,
Well, and
you
that's the
gotta appreciate when they take care of it. And how many times a day do people probably say they can't breathe when they arrest people? So it's probably not like a new thing somebody says to them.
oh yeah. Well, and like the funny thing is nobody knows how difficult it is to be a cop except for cops. Like you go
Yeah.
try to police a violent neighborhood and see how far you go, how many days you go before you're just like
Black
the
people bad.
well
Guns
not
good.
not not necessarily that, but just policing any neighborhood that has problems, any city, and you're gonna start to like not
Well, yeah,
necessarily hold
you're only exposed to like the seedy underbelly of the city, and over time that would kind of taint
make you a little
your view of everything,
yeah, make you a little bit
tarnish
callous,
your view.
cynical.
Yeah.
And the training maneuver, the one thing that nobody really likes to discuss is did he put his knee on that dude's neck, on George Floyd's neck? Yes, but that was actually a restraint that was approved by
Allowed.
the city.
Yeah.
And
Well, because you and I know, because we have jobs where we at times are trained in restraint, and then there's ones you're allowed to use and ones you're not. So
yeah, and
yeah,
the ones that
technically
you're
he was
allowed
allowed
to
to use
use
that
don't even work most of the time.
one.
That's the thing that a lot of these people don't know or realize is because they don't have someone trying to attack them or resist them. So I think a lot of the people that get upset about this stuff don't really have any basis in reality. They've never had someone try to fuck them up on a daily
Yeah.
basis.
Well, it's
You're
a bad
trying.
situation because I mean, no matter your arrest for a counterfeit dollar, even if you're resisting and you don't have a weapon, you shouldn't die in custody. So
No,
like, I mean, that
it's
is a big problem. But yes, it's
it's a
hard being a
bad
cop.
situation. Yeah, I don't think that the cops were necessarily the bad guys in that situation. I think it's just bad training and a bad criminal justice system
Yeah,
that
I
just
mean,
reformed.
I'm not. I don't. My opinion doesn't even matter on the situation. So
Yeah, me neither.
whatever. We should move on. There's been tons of people that have their
Yeah,
view, and
yeah,
it
fuck
doesn't
the
even matter.
shit. Yeah, but anyway, so you were saying earlier about like 2 minutes ago, you restrain people. Have you ever
Hmm.
put your knee on someone's neck?
No, that's not allowable restraint.
Have you ever
But
wanted to?
I'm not a police officer, so
Yeah,
mine has to be far more
yeah,
humane.
but in your profession, haven't you ever wanted to?
Oh, I mean, there are obviously like things outside of the agreed upon restraints would be great. I mean, if you could punch or kick, like that would take care of it. You're not allowed to. You have to, not harm in any way. So, I mean, the restraints I'm allowed to use are uh, very basic, like from behind, where you grab their wrists, opposite arms, and wrap it underneath their armpits, and then lift them off their feet. Kind of like lean back, things like that.
See, that's better than what we've got. We most of the people over here that I deal with, you are only really most of them just get what's called a belt shirt, and that's where you are allowed to grab the back of their belt and the back of their shirt, and that's to keep them from running into like traffic or something.
Mm.
And in that situation, you only have 10 seconds that you're legally allowed to hold on to them. So after 10 seconds, you can release them to run into traffic.
But yeah, and but run into traffic.
Yeah, I mean,
So you really can't restrain them. See, mine were allowed to actually take them to the ground and hold them against their will. for
Yeah,
long periods of time. But the problem is the restraints that we do leaves the restrainer open to headbutts and being spit on and potentially bit and things like that. So it's
yeah, we've got some restraints like there's 2-person, 3-person, and in some extreme cases a 4-person restraint where you pretty much can take them to the ground. But they try to, in our state, they try to have as little restraints as possible because they're more concerned about someone,
oh yeah,
you know, they're more
yeah.
concerned about the person getting restrained than they are about the people taking care of them.
Yeah, I understand. And luckily, right now, my certificate or whatever has expired. So actually, last year there's an issue where uh, there's a potential need for restraint, but I couldn't. So somebody else was kind of stepping in. It was a woman, and I wasn't allowed to do anything until if he would have hit her, I could have stepped in. But outside of that, I wasn't allowed to do anything because my certification's expired. So I was kind of
Yeah.
happy.
And in some of those cases, you gotta be. Who wants to get fucked up? You know.
Well, not that whenever you deal with something like that, the situation I'm in, there's a lot of people around, and I did not want to end up on the news for like the way something looked instead of like people seeing what was actually happening. Like see like some, like take a 2-second clip out of like a 20-minute confrontation or something. Yeah, I
Well,
was more than happy to have to sit back on that one.
knowing what you do, I could see what kind of spin there could be too.
Oh, and it was a older African American person against a white woman. So, and then if I would have come in, it would have been a white guy. So it could have been a nightmare if things had really kicked off. Luckily, it kind of it took time, but it de-escalated. But there were moments where I was waiting for that punch to fly, and then I would have had to come in.
And you know what would have happened is you would have accidentally like gone down and put your knee on their neck just to hold them down,
Yeah,
and then they would have
luckily,
started
luckily it
recording
was
that.
last year though. But yeah, it would have.
So,
But anyway, oh,
what do
go
you
ahead.
got? What do you got planned for the week?
The week ahead, I got to work my ass off more.
Yeah,
Dude, it's ridiculous. I'm at like I don't know. I'm at like 60% quitting.
yeah,
Like especially if I get like COVID or something, and then it takes months to get over, or you get that heart problem after. I'm out of that job.
yeah,
They don't take care of us.
yeah. I mean, here's a good question. Like with everything going on, like the last year, have you had a chance to like step back and reevaluate your life and just wonder like have you just thought like what's the meaning of it all? What do I want to do? What do I want to accomplish?
Dude, I was homeless for 6 years. Let's see, last year was a full year that I actually had working again. So no, right now I'm not in any mode to. Well, I mean, I had plenty of time to think about all that stuff. So
Yeah.
no, I don't. I mean, everybody has their own meaning of life, and the meaning I think right now is pretty basic. So I don't. It's not even. It's so basic. It's not even worth like thinking about in my spare time.
Well, I can pretty much guess what you do on a daily basis. I think I figured it out. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think you wake up, you eat a basic breakfast with balanced but basic. You drink a little bit of coffee. Now that um, and then you're going to you're doing your job. You're not
We're walking
going
a
in.
fine line here. You're almost slipping on me here.
Yeah, almost slipping, but I'm catching myself. You do your job, uh, and then you. I'm gonna guess. I haven't seen any TikTok uploads or anything like that or Instagram, so I'm gonna guess that your action figure hobby, you're still participating in it somewhat, but it's not as active. You probably watch a lot more movies, and then you eat dinner, you slipping out of your clothes, jerk off into your day old underwear, and then go to sleep?
Well, number one, when I get home, I don't like to wear clothes. I think I told you that. Even right now, I just got a shirt. I like to go pantless.
Yeah,
That's the
dude,
type of.
your balls are on your chair right now.
No, I have a towel. I'm like a conscientious nudist.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm practicing for when I can move to one of those communities. So now I have a towel I put on the chair, but I gotta wear the shirt so my back doesn't stick to the chair. But yeah, no, um, so my day is more like, well, right now I'm virtual, but
mm,
when we go back, it's gonna go back to the normal routine where I gotta drive an hour each way to work. So there's no sensible breakfast. I heat up a microwave sausage and a biscuit, take it with me, eat it in the car, no coffee, get to work, do the job, hour home where I can curse off all my complaints to myself. Then I get home and yeah, I watch a movie and yeah, jerk it. Maybe make a new record for the day.
yeah.
See how many times I can do it. Uh, yeah, the toys and stuff. We talked about that before. Was that the first episode or the second? I don't want to like rehash dumb
It was the
things,
first, so it wasn't recorded.
but yeah, I still play with the toys and stuff, but I don't record it right now because I was putting on TikTok, but I have almost 11,000 followers, but it's all like it's little kids, and so there's no, I don't know. There's just there's not much joy in having kids follow you. It's not like peers where like there's anything interesting happening. It's just these little
That's
kids with
that's why
like
you got to get
and
on like Pornhub.
yeah, well we talked about something I could do for that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm just kind of, and like I said, doing things like this, like a podcast. I don't know. I Sometimes I like to just keep things as their simple enjoyment and not try to make it enjoyment for others.
yeah,
So, but yeah, that's pretty much my day. I think you got it somewhat right, I guess.
yeah. I mean, my day's not too much different. The only difference is that I've got people here that expect things out of me. Like today, I got to mow the lawn.
Yeah, you
So
got work clothes and stuff.
yeah, I don't get to just sit naked.
Yeah, that's why I want to be. That's why I want my riding career to take off, man. That's the dream. That's the only job you can do without pants. Well, one of
Yeah.
the only jobs.
Well, if you got like a floating table, you could even be in your hot tub, then like riding.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. I don't have a hot tub though, but that's the dream.
Well, what is your obsession with hot tubs? When did that begin?
That started when I potentially almost died every night in Colorado, sleeping in my car in negative degree weather. And actually, if you like, when you read my stuff, when it starts kicking in with these hot tubs, you can. That's when a winter hits. And then then I start talking a lot about food. Like if you went through my library of books chronologically, like all of a sudden hot tubs enter, and then I start talking big time about food because actually I'm spending so much energy at night keeping myself warm, just like body energy. I start
Mhm.
starving, and so like at that point I was trying to eat. I'd eat like a large pizza, and I'd try to go to bed immediately. Like it wouldn't be like eat and then later go to bed. Like I'd eat it and try to go to bed right then. And man, your body burns it up so fast just keeping yourself warm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when I'll start. The hot tub thing started then.
Didn't you have
Um,
a sleeping bag or something?
oh man, I had several. I had several I had to sleep in because none of them were rated for negative. Uh,
Mm.
the the only one I had was rated down to 30, but I mean it was down in the teens and the single digits every night. So I'd have two of the 30 bags, and then a light sleeping bag, and then several blankets, and I'd put my dog next to me so we'd keep our body heat together. But how I didn't get frostbite on my nose, I was really worried about that. I don't know because it would like wake you up and your face would be so numb, and then you'd cover your head, but then you couldn't breathe, and inside of the car would get all the ice on the inside the car on the windows, and then it'd snow, and you'd be buried in like 8 inches of snow. Like, yeah, there was
Well,
many. I was really like pretty high percentage thinking I was gonna die.
well, and the funny thing is you'd mentioned before in the past that you want to move to Montana, and I'm like, aren't you scared of like the cold?
Well, no, that plan was so when I got to Colorado, I got that art studio. So at least I had like a home base to get out of the cold and do my writing. The Montana thing was to do in summer. I'd have to like if I was like if it was living in your car, you got to kind of move and be mobile. So yeah, the Montana would be like a summer, and then in winter I'd travel down to south where it wouldn't be quite so cold. But
Yeah.
the only reason I stay in Colorado in the winter was because I had that art studio, and that was just a lucky find. So I couldn't bail on it, so I had to kind of like just try to struggle through it.
Yeah.
And then that collapsed because in like February, I got sick one night, ran a fever, and there's nowhere I could go, and I was really screwed. And after that, I was like, well, I may die doing this. I better go back to work for a while. And that's why when I bailed that mission and got a job again.
Is that when you went back to Texas or Texas?
Yeah, 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 because I don't know how like yeah, running a fever when it's like 23 degrees at night is like it's some kind of state of hell. And like all the stores are closed because I was in Boulder, so they're not like they don't have open stuff that's open late. So I had to wait till the next morning to even get medicine. And then didn't have much money. I had to go find a hotel to stay in for a few days to get better. So they're like, you can imagine when you're like have the flu, you just slept sweating, but it's like 20 degrees, and then the next day you have to go get your medicine, get some food, and then go find a hotel and like check in. Like it was like some level of hell I'd found, and
Yeah.
it was enough to send me back to a job for a while.
So, what do you got in the pipeline over the next couple of years? Where do you see yourself?
I don't know. I don't even worry about it. I try to worry about 3 or 4 days ahead.
Yeah,
If
that's
even
probably
that.
the best way to stay sane. Like me, we touched on it the last podcast. I don't know where I'm going to end up. Honestly, if my ex was able to get my kids and take them to Montana, at that point I could literally go anywhere because she's kind of responsible for transportation at that point, and I would only be able to see them as much as I'd be able to see them anywhere else. So at that point, it kind of opens up kind of the world in some horrible way.
What
I
do you
don't
mean
know.
she'd be responsible? Like even if you moved to Sweden, she'd have to pay the
Well,
airfare or something.
no, I think in that situation, it would probably be that we would probably have to figure it out together. But uh, to be perfectly candid, man, like there's a part of me that's like, I don't want them to move because then I won't get to see them as much, and that fucking sucks. But then there's a part of me that's like, at least I won't be stuck where I'm at now. You know, I
Yeah.
can go somewhere. I can build a life somewhere. Because where I'm at right now, there's just the job that I'm at and a couple restaurants. That's pretty much it. There's a few grocery stores, a couple convenience stores, and there's not much else around here.
So what would be the life you want? Like what do you want around you that would improve things?
Opportunity, like
So
more,
a different job.
definitely a different job. I fucking hate my job, but um, just more shit to do, more people. I would probably want to head back to Idaho just because my brother's there. I've got a few friends there. There's things to do there, and it's not a crazy city. And it would be close enough to my kids that it wouldn't be so hard to go get them and stuff. Uh, so that would be probably where I would look at to go. But
So you're gonna
I
try
don't
to
know.
stop your ex from going, or because you're making it
Yeah,
sound kind of like a good thing now.
I'm gonna I'm gonna try to stop her just because there's good and bad to it. Like the only good that comes out of it is that I'm not stuck here anymore. The bad that comes out of it is that I gotta wait every 9 months to see them. And
Oh, okay, I got you.
to some people that would be like, oh, that's not a big deal and stuff. But like, I saw my dad during the summers and stuff. But I'm not my dad. I'm not those people. I want to see them grow up. I don't want to just see them and be like, wow, you've really shot up since the last summer. So there's that aspect. But it's all because when I came here to the Oregon coast, I was under the idea that I would come here and I would just sacrifice my early adult years to just be here for them. Like I would wait until my son graduated high school, do the right thing, make sure he got through it, and then after that I could go anywhere I want. And that's the mentality that I came here with. And it's not working out apparently. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough thing with kids.
Yeah.
And
Well,
sacrificing all that time until they're 18. I wouldn't even know. I don't have kids even.
and you hate
It's a shitty
kids.
situation. I do hate kids. That is true.
Yeah.
Fucking their voices just. I don't know. I don't know how people do it, man. Like under the age of, I don't know, 8. Under the age of 8, their voice is just like nails on a chalkboard. I cannot deal with it.
Yeah, I definitely get that. Like, my kids are pretty much the only kids that I can tolerate. So, I
And
get
that's what a
it.
lot of people say. So
Yeah,
I don't know, but I don't want to find out that I can't tolerate mine either.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough decision. Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
Have you ever had a pregnancy scare? Like a chick that thought she was pregnant?
Not real. Well, no, but there's a chick when I was in high school that we fucked, and then she was all Catholic and like, I don't know how to put it. She was just a very good girl. And then right after we got done, she wanted me to take her to one of those Planned Parenthood to get the Plan B things or whatever that pill is that. Because she was convinced she was going to be pregnant or something. She just freaked out,
Yeah.
because we were young, and she lost her mind after. And I'd also, after we did that, I had to take her to her Catholic church so she could go to confession. And then she came back. She came back and she got in the car, and man, she had been crying so hard. You ever? It's funny now, but man, that sucked. You want to talk about an awkward drive? Go fuck a girl. Have to take her to Planned Parenthood where the people working there eyeball you like you're like Lucifer yourself walked in with this poor crying girl. And take her to church so she could confess her sins. And never get in the car crying, man. It was a
Was
bad
that a
day.
was that a one time deal, or was it good enough that you went back?
No, actually, it was only the first time that she freaked out like that.
No, so after that, it was all good.
Yeah, it was a lot better. She just kind of lost her marbles on that one.
Yeah, I had a situation when I think I was about 17. I was banging this black chick, and she was the only black chick in our town, and she we were together for 2 weeks, and I was so young, and when someone that age starts talking about like, oh, we should, we went to this mall and we were looking around at furniture and stuff, just like she wanted to go into the furniture store, so I was like, okay, whatever. And she's like, starts saying, baby, we could get this couch for our apartment. And I'm like, our apartment? I'm fucking 17 years old. What are you talking about? I live at my mom's. Like, I don't want to move out at this point. Like, and so that like totally freaked me out. And so I broke up with her. And a month and a half later, something like that, I had been hanging out with one of her friends, and we were sitting in her friend's apartment. Her friend was a little bit older, and we were drinking 40s and whatnot, but she was like, could I talk to you for a minute? And I was like, well, sure. And so she pulls me off into the chick's room. Sally was her name. And not the black chick, but the black chick pulls me into the room, and she's like, I have to tell you something, and I don't know how to say this exactly. And at that point, dude, my heart dropped into my fucking nuts because I thought I had knocked her up. Like, I was like, I pulled out every single time. I pulled and prayed. Yeah, I was raw dogging, but I pulled and prayed. And like, I remember just that feeling of like, oh, fuck. She's telling me she's pregnant. And it felt like forever, but she finally spit it out. You know, I don't know why women have to fucking drag shit out, but she was just like, I don't know how to tell you this, but long pause.
Oh God.
Ever since you've been hanging out with Sally, my feelings for you have grown. And I just remember kind of collapsing a little bit, and I was like, fuck. And she was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I was like, I thought you were going to say you were pregnant. And I bet that turned her off a big deal. But I was like, I thought you were going to say you're pregnant. Don't ever fucking do that to me again. And, you know, the funny
Chicks
thing
are
is,
drama queens. They're like, we need to talk, but we're going to talk later. And you're like, wait, what? Or we'll talk about it tomorrow. And you're like, well, no. What's we talk about now?
yeah, like, I don't get the whole, like, we're going to talk about this thing that's bothering you right now at a later time.
I know we're going to bring it up, but not. It's a power move, I think.
Yeah. Well, and you know, the funny thing is I found that the best way to handle women is to treat them like children, not like, you know, talking down to them all the time or anything, but just pretty much talking to them like they're a child. Like if they start pulling that little game or whatever, you just talk to them like you would to an inferior, and it seems to work for the most part. Well,
Yeah, that
you
might
know,
work.
not disrespectful or anything like that, but just, you know, pretty much acting like an adult talking to a child. And it seems.
Hello.
What's up?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
They cut out. It cut out again.
I didn't even notice.
Well, I mean it. Well, your audio cut, so I don't know what happened on your end, but yeah, I don't know. They're the drama queens. They're drama queens, and they don't make sense. They're just we're not. I don't think men and women are that compatible. I think we spend just like we spend 18 years in school to convince us of societal norms. I just think we're convinced that we're compatible, but we're not.
Yeah. So what's your funniest sex story? Do you got like a
Funny?
Yeah, like I'll tell you mine real quick. It's kind of funny and sad at the same time.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna. There's people that know me that might listen to this, maybe. So I'll try to be as vague as possible. But basically, I was with this chick, right? And we'd been together for a while, and we went into the shower to take a shower, and I thought things were gonna, you know, pick up and all this other stuff. She drops down to her knees and she starts to give me some head, and she only, you know, she does 1 bob, 2 bob, 3 bob, then stops, gets up, turns off the shower, and gets out of the shower and starts drying off.
Wait, what?
And we're walking.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Hold on. We're walking to the bedroom, right? And I'm thinking that, you know, things are going to happen. So I grab her and I start to try to kiss her, and she stops me and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, you know, what was going on in the shower and all that stuff. I thought we were having a moment." It's like, that was a treat.
Dude, this isn't a funny story.
No, it's kind of funny in the aspect of like it'll make people feel better, I guess. I don't know. I think it's funny.
This is a terrible story. This is a tragedy.
It is a tragedy, but I'm like, it doesn't have to be like necessarily okay. Like there's another one where I guess to me that's funny now. Like I can laugh about it now because I think like shit, I should have just walked out at that point. But
oh yeah, that's messed up. That's cruelty.
It's torture
or something. Especially if she really believes it. If she believes that like 3 head bobs is a treat, that's like a red flag that lady is like not you don't want to be around that. If that's a treat.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
then what's the punishment? If that's the treat, what's the punishment?
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So, I mean, that's one that comes off to my head. I don't know. I think it's funny, but what do you got?
I don't. I mean, nothing that's happened was funny. Like that, I'd classify as funny. I mean, the only thing that even might be
All right.
remotely funny is like when a chick's ass smells or something. When you're going from the back and you get that whiff and you kind of like have to move. You're trying to like move your head out of the way because it's not fresh.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have
Maybe.
any. And I don't have any torture story. Like, oh, I do have one. Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's sort of along. It. I don't know. You tell me if it's funny or not. I don't know. But like, it was in high school, and there was this chick I just started dating or seeing or something, and I was at her place, and parents weren't home and stuff, so I like finger banged the hell out of her, and then she never reciprocated, and I got blue balled like so hard, even just driving home, like the car bounces on the seat, like excruciating, where you feel like sick to your stomach. So that's along the lines of your treat. I didn't even get a treat at all. I didn't even get three head bobs. I just got, oh, thanks for the finger bang. But I like drilled her. Like I gave it to her good. I did my portion, and then I never got reciprocated.
It's because you got off, dude.
I mean, somebody's got to go first. So it's not like the first time a girl's gotten off first, and usually they reciprocate, but not this. But maybe I don't know. Maybe she didn't know how or was worried or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, nothing particularly funny. Not like I ever like farted when getting head or like never had a girl shit on me or um, nothing like that. So
Yeah, same here. I've heard
sorry, maybe
stories.
not enough experiences. We haven't got around enough to have like the full tour of what could happen. Like I
Yeah.
said, I've never been with a squirter. I've never.
Well, and like,
I did have a chick. Oh, I did have a chick that I went on one date with, and then she told me that she has rape fantasies, and she wanted me to like get a knife and like creep into her room and stuff, and it kind of freaked me out.
did you do it though?
No, so on the good point, she was like clear about what she liked. Like
Uh,
I was trying to work with her. I was like, how about a fake knife? Because like one slip on a real knife, and I'm going to jail. Like this thing goes wrong. Like this is gonna look good for me. And she wanted like the real knife, and she wanted to like have like the real experience, but like the controlled one where she has control to say stop, but to like have the illusion of non-control. But no, I didn't go through with it, and I didn't see her again. Number one, she had a kid, and I was really against that idea. And then two, I was like, man, if you open the door on that, like, what if you do that and then you really get off, and then that's your thing? And I was like, I don't want to carry that the rest of my life. If like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you open that door, and that could be something that she has it. She had that kink, and I was like, man, if I engage in that and it's like really good, now I got to carry that. That's my new cross, as you might say, that I got to carry the rest of my life. So I didn't do it.
you're crossed to bear. The only way
Yeah,
you can get off is if you're holding a knife to a chick's throat.
dude, it might. Well, come on. I mean, be honest with yourself. It might be awesome. It might be like the new like tie him down, like throw him around, have a night. Like that might be the truest, most natural. Uh, your cat that got out feeling. I might find the meaning to the world, to the universe, and now I gotta like deal with that the rest of my life.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that personally, as long as it's just within the realm of fantasy. Like,
Okay, well, let's put it this way: we had only gone on one date, so it's not like
yeah,
I've been with this chick 3 years, and I knew that we were probably going to be together a while, and I wasn't going to have to explain this in a month to the next chick I'm dating. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like that
Dude,
this
that's why
partner might not last.
you don't explain anything. You just do it. You just one day, like you start dating a new chick, and then one day you just walk into the room with a knife and you just start going at it. You just go
Well,
in there
okay,
with
so
a ski mask and whatever.
that's true. That's very true. But like, that's so complicated because then when she brought that up, like, oh, this is what I like. Um, but you don't know what else. Okay, so we went on one date, and she brought up she likes this.
Mm.
you know she's harboring more. And I
Oh,
don't want to be the guy that's tied down with my ass in the air and a giant butt plug coming at me. Like, okay, baby, if this is what you like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if that was her entrance fee, like who knows what the main attraction is? You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I didn't go through with it on that one.
I mean, yeah, but it might have been fun, dude. Like, all right, you're into water painting, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What if she like wanted to take some toothbrushes and like brush your asshole or something weird like that? That wouldn't be too bad. That might be ticklish.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just saying what happened. I'm not. Maybe I
Yeah,
should have gone for it. Maybe I should have gone full force and like I should have gone in like Jason Voorhees style, you know.
I
But
would have. I mean, because here's the thing. I think with me, it would be like a fun experience and stuff. But I think the difference between you and me is I'm more of a settled down type. So I'd just ease back into the regular sex and just use the kinky shit for my spank bank.
yeah, no, well, I'm not saying I want to do it, but again, she had a kid. She wasn't married, so she's prone to like getting pregnant and then not having it work out. So like, there's a lot of issues around it that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was enticing. I mean, it was enticing, and I still wonder about it. And it wouldn't. It's something I might do, but that situation was a no go.
Well, I think what would have probably been the best situation for that is if you had done it and then the kid saw you. Was it a boy?
Oh yeah, it was a boy. I never met him, but yeah.
He saw you trying to stab his mom as he thought it, and at that point you're just the enemy. Like, no matter what you do, he just walks in the middle of the night, sees you doing that, she ends it, and from that point on, you're just the guy that tried to kill his mom, and he holds a grudge.
He'd be like traumatized. He'd grow up and be like, I don't even know, but
Probably
it'd
like
like mess him up
Dexter,
for life.
dude. Like every chick that he gets with, he would inherit that sickness from you, and he'd have to hold the knife to a chick's throat in order to like kill something.
See, that's what I worried about because I've done like the tying up and the somewhat biting and like the normal stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. What if you found something in yourself? Just like I don't know, you can discover things about yourself that maybe once you uncover, you can't recover very easily. So
Yeah.
I was tentative on that one.
You just didn't want that innocence to die, that innocence of yours.
And I guess the problem is that I can understand what that would open,
Yeah.
that what door that would open, and what I'm capable of. And yeah, I don't know. Rapists and murderers and people got to start somewhere. You got to start with that cat, that dog. I saw that cat and I said, I don't know. Maybe I won't kill that cat.
I'm not going to chase it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, if you were a rapist, where do you think you would be stalking your prey at? Would you go like the universities and just watch them leave like the library late at the night and just drag them in the bush?
All right, let me tell you a little something about myself here.
Yeah.
So last night I had some really good dreams. One of them involving Scarlett Johansson, but that's something else. Anyways, in my dream last night, I was at like it's kind of like a college campus. It had tons of people. There's like pre-COVID amount of people, like bustling university plaza amount of people. And I was looking for hot chicks going around, doing what I do in my dreams. And a bunch of like 10 or 12 of these girls all wearing like yellow bathing suits, one piece, like they're like a swim team, start taking off. And then they invite me into the locker room. So yeah, I'd probably start at university or something if I was a rapist. I don't know, because I'm already having these like weird dreams like that, like following the swim team into the locker room.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty innocent. You got a Porky's level of perversity. I mean, at least it's not like you're Ted Bundy.
No, well, no.
Not yet. If you would have slept with that chick, you'd be doing some Ted Bundy shit.
Look, I'm just saying there's doors that you can open that you can't close again.
Yeah. I guess I could see that. Like, if you experience something and it's just the best thing in your life, you're like, it's like a heroin addict. You're always chasing the next best high. You're not actually doing it just to get high. You're trying to get that better high.
Exactly. Well, and all again, it's that situation. I didn't say never. I didn't say with any girl. I'm just saying in that situation, I said no because also I only went on one date, and actually the first date she wanted to Netflix and chill, and that was before I knew what Netflix and chill was. So we actually watched Netflix.
Mm.
That was
Did,
our first date. So like, you have to to simulate that experience with somebody you don't even know. That opens the door further. Like if you've been with the chick years and you're like comfortable and you know like that's different than doing it to like a near stranger. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's knowing somebody for years and years is like years and years removed from like a rape experience. But if you do it to somebody you barely know, I mean that's like one step from like doing somebody that you don't know, right?
So if I'm to garner anything from what you're saying, is that you're saying that Bundy flew too close to the sun?
Ted Bundy was like your cat man.
Yeah, I mean, essentially he was. I saw this video, a movie a long time ago about Ted Bundy, and the one thing that, like, I've never been into serial killers, and the last podcast that I was like a guest on,
But
they're
I
talking
mean,
about,
you've considered like killing people, right?
uh, no, I mean, I've written like extreme horror and stuff like once, and that kind of thing just isn't for me necessarily. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
So
Um,
you don't like you don't play on that fantasy field ever.
the fantasy that I go with it typically is with me. If I
I'm
do
not talking
kill,
erotic. I'm not talking erotic. I'm just saying
yeah,
you don't ever
like
play on that field in your fantasies.
no, like the fantasy that I typically have is like me saving the day. Like the people that I kill are bad people, and I'm just like a badass hero.
Okay.
And in reality,
A Dexter
you know,
style.
yeah, like I walk into a bank and there's like some, it's like Patrick Swayze and his surfer gang are just there in presidential masks, and I walk in like a badass, pull out a shotgun from my trench coat and just start popping off caps and doing karate kicks and stuff. And in reality, I would just be on the floor snobbling like a little bitch. But uh, you know, those are typically the types of fantasies that I have. Like I'm badass. People look at me as a badass and stuff, uh, and then in reality, I know that I'd be on the floor like next to the bank manager crying. As Patrick Swayze is like coming up with his blonde hair, just like getting ready to put a cap in my ass, like that. I think every guy has those moments where you either picture killing someone out of like revenge or whatever, or being a hero. You play these scenarios in your head, and I think that's normal. But most of us can't live up to it.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could. I
Well,
think
not that one. Maybe not the bank robbery, but like
no, but like I mean, like have I like breaking into someone's house and just like doing a helter skelter on them, just pulling out a knife and just killing them. I mean that could be done easily, especially if you pick your victim. Um, you make sure your victim's weaker than you are. That could be done easily. But I've never really thought about that one. I don't know. I'm pretty much I don't know, man. I'm like a pretty, I guess, pretty empathetic for the most part. So I don't really go down like the dark paths and stuff. Like I've
the
thought
dark
about,
journeys.
yeah, like we're both fans of Richard Lehman and stuff, and some people I've been part of a Richard Lehman group, and some people will talk about how he's scary and stuff. And the funny thing is when I read Richard Lehman, I think he's hilarious. Like
Oh yeah, it reads like a cartoon.
yeah, exactly. And I've tried to read more extreme people, like this dude named Wrath James White and stuff, and it's just too extreme to me because the horror is not there. It's not campy, so
Okay.
it comes off as just like extreme for the sake of being extreme, and I just don't get on board with that. Like I can read about like in Body Rides, I think we talked about that scene where that chick's in the bathtub and
Oh yeah, yeah,
the murder stuff, like soap in her mouth and stuff, and she's all tied up and bloody and stuff. And I can picture something like that because it's fake, and it to me it's just a funny death scenario. But
yeah. I see it the same way. It's funny that we see it both as cartoony because I can almost like imagine like the characters are like Jessica Rabbit type of characters or something like
yeah,
these fantasies that are like clearly cartoon and like hilarious. So yes, I know what you're saying when they're pinned up and stuff.
yeah,
It's
like
kind
in
of funny.
yeah. Have you read Endless Night?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I read that one, and I gave it to a friend, and she started reading it.
Oh, but that had kids, so like you shouldn't give that one out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I gave it I gave it to her, and she read it while she was house sitting her brother's house, and she had to stop reading it because she said it was so scary. And I'm like, are you reading the same fucking book that I'm reading? Because this is hilarious. Like
Yeah, it reads like Nightmare on Elm Street kind of, where it's like
yeah, exactly. He was so pulpy and so great, and he was able to take like these really horrible situations where people are like facing the worst fucking shit in the world, and yet make it funny. And
yeah, well, it's because the main characters usually have a sense of humor about what's happening to some
yeah,
extent.
dude, I'll be perfectly honest with you on this. When I first started reading Layman, I would read him on the bus in Portland, and like no joke, dude, I would start like getting to his sex scenes, and I'd start popping boners.
Oh yeah, yeah, he can do that.
Yeah, you can't help it because you start building these characters in your mind. You start picturing the women a certain way, and it's not even probably like how he would picture them, but you just start using your own imagination, and then as it starts coming around, it like looks like life, and you're just like boing.
Yeah, because he's super pervy.
Yeah, and that's what's so great about him. I think his most pervy book, in my opinion, is probably Island.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, so I liked, like I'm a fan of Layman, and my mom was interested, and I was like, oh, mom, don't bother, like this is not your style. And she tried to read The Island as her intro into Layman, and she said she enjoyed it up until somewhere towards the end where the girls actually get kidnapped and things
yeah, but
get
that's
even
the
more
best part.
sexual. Yeah, no, I know. But she made it feel like the first pervy, where it's like this teen boy writing about his,
His
these
fantasies.
girls, yeah,
Yeah,
and
because
these bikini girls around him.
yeah, well, and like without going into like ruining the plot for any listener that might want to pick it up, you would we would both put our stamp of approval of read Island if you want to read a funny pervy, basically Gilligan's Island with a torturous murderer, right?
Well, I mean, for a non-initiate, that's not the book I'd choose. No.
Yeah, which one would you throw in?
Um, either. So there's one, and I can't remember the title, but it's about a librarian who she finds like an envelope with money and like
Yeah,
a task, and it starts taking. Is that
yeah. The funny thing
what's that
is,
one called?
In the Dark. It's called In the Dark.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah,
So that's a real good one because number one, the main character is a female of age who voluntarily involves herself in it.
yeah,
Also, traveling vampire show only because that's won so many awards. That seems to be even though it does have sexual stuff in it, it still seems to be one of his more tame ones.
yeah. It's kind
Um,
of like I've heard it described as kind of like his Stand by Me,
yeah,
if you could even
it's a good
compare
one.
it. Yeah, like that ending of Traveling Vampire Show, though, dude, that was a twist that I did not see coming.
It was awesome. It was
Yeah,
awesome. Also, some of his other ones that are more supernatural, like the Mummy one. What was it, like Amora? What, I can't remember the
yeah,
title of that one.
Amera, or it was also called. I don't know. The American title is different. I don't remember what it's called in the American
Yeah,
title.
and then
Amera.
there's another vampire one.
Are
I
you
can't
thinking
remember
of
what
the
it's called.
steak
Bite
or
or
bite?
Steak.
Oh,
I
bite.
don't know. Can't
Yeah,
remember. There's so many books I get their titles all get mixed up. But yeah, those are one of the ones I would start with. Ones that have full adult or all the characters are adults, and the people that get involved are usually by their own admission involved.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I think I would recommend like my girlfriend's dad recently. I think he wandered onto my bookshelf and started looking at them because he was like, "Oh, I saw you have a book on um, Jack the Ripper," and it immediately was like, "Oh, you're thinking of Richard Lehman's Savage,"
Oh, okay, yeah,
and so I would say for someone who loves westerns, probably Savage. Body Rides, I would say, is another good one for someone to jump in with.
yeah. But that has such high sexuality through the whole thing, particularly
Yeah,
with the one girl. I forget the one girl that involved how old she is, but
I think she's actually kind of like late teens, if I remember.
yeah.
So maybe
I mean,
that one.
she's developed, so
Yeah,
and whoever's
she's like
listening,
18 or something like that. She's like an 18-year-old waitress that he
yeah,
picks up.
yeah,
Right?
she was a waitress. That's right.
Yeah. Uh, shit. There's some
There are some I would not recommend as a first
no,
go at, like The Cellar.
no,
Trying to
because even
remember some others there.
the Cellar was probably the hardest one for me to read because that one does have some, it's just
Dude, he goes
controversial.
into it. It's man. I don't know how that got published as his first book. I don't know how he had the balls to even write that.
I don't know. And just
I mean,
anybody
that
that
was something.
listens, the Seller has an incident. He doesn't glorify it. He doesn't, but it does have a pedophile in it. So yeah,
Yeah, it's something. But
yeah. I guess
see,
for
my
the
favorite.
non-initiate, I would probably go with your choices. Like probably Night in the Lonesome October is a good one.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah,
It's a really
that's one
good
of my
one.
favorites too. Um,
But again,
I
that
don't
has
know.
like the gay guy that gets beat up, and like it has the librarian one. If I remember, just has the least amount of kinky sex and
Yeah,
weird
and it's also
stuff.
reads more like a mystery. Like I think that one would probably grab female writers more or readers more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm probably with you on that one. Probably In the Dark. They also made a movie that I have. I'll have to send you a link because they have it on YouTube of In the Dark. It was just like an independent film that they made back in like the '90s. Uh,
Oh, really?
yeah, I've got it on DVD before they put it up on YouTube.
Why am I imagining like a Goosebump movie?
No, it's actually shot pretty well. They actually did a pretty good job for being super low budget. Like it was just college students, but they did a pretty good job and they actually captivated most of the movie. Like they kind of butcher some things, but it I feel like it had more to do with budget than any.
Hmm.
But they actually did a pretty good job. Um,
Yeah, I'll have to give it a watch.
yeah, it's a
Or a
good one.
few, at least a few minutes of a watch.
Yeah, I'm the beginning of it is actually to the book. So, um, have you ever read Darkness Tell Us?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The Ouija board, right?
huh? Yeah, the
The
Ouija
Ouija
board.
board
Yeah,
one. Yeah,
yeah, I loved that one, dude. Like, it was just that one I heard described as like a Scooby Doo mission.
it is.
Um, yeah, and like one of the good things about Layman is he can get you to start laughing your ass off at stupid shit like his characters. I love his characters. Like they go off into it's about these college kids that play this Ouija board, as you know, and it pretty much tells them that there's this treasure up in the mountains in California in this forest, and they go there, and then there's like this psychopathic bodybuilder in a speedo and sunglasses that's watching him swim, and he like kidnaps the women and goes to this cave.
Well, and
And
that doesn't have to do with the Ouija board. That guy was. Well, we don't want to go too much into it, but yeah,
no, but it was completely unrelated.
yeah. It's like two events converge.
Yeah, and then the professor, because the kids played on the Ouija board at a professor's house, they just happened to be hanging out with your, older professor, female professor. I mean, hanging out with a male professor might be pretty cool, but hanging out with an older female professor and her fiance, like that's going to be cool, you know. But then the professor and the fiance go looking for the kids because they went to go look for the treasure, and there's this big ass bodybuilder just wandering around kidnapping the women and stuff.
No, all of his are good, like Sunland and Quake and stuff. I mean, those are
Mm.
all awesome.
Oh yeah.
He's got like 20 something books, and I read most of them. I don't think I ever read Fiend.
No, I haven't
And
read
there's
that.
there's another one called Beware that I don't think I read, but it was like a novella or something shorter. I don't think it was very long, like 100 and something pages.
Beware wasn't that great to me. That's actually like my
Yeah,
least favorite of his.
that's why I heard that. Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
read that, but I think I've read most everything he wrote.
Yeah, I've still got a couple more. Like I've got After Midnight
Oh, what
and
was the
the
one where that kid, that like Ernie weird kid at school, and he like brings a girl back from the dead for his science fair project?
yeah, Resurrection Dreams.
Oh man, that's a good one. I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Just kind of as we're talking, like came back, and I started having this memory of like that resurrected chick and stuff. That
yeah,
was a cool one. That was a good premise.
yeah. And the cool thing about Layman is he always like with his Resurrection Dreams. It's a zombie story, but it's not about zombies. His vampire stories aren't even about vampires. Like I don't know if you've read The
Yeah,
Stake. Like you mentioned,
yeah.
right? But The Stake is about an author who goes into the desert and with some friends they go to this ghost town and they stumble upon this casket with a lady's body in it that has a stake in her chest.
Oh
And
yeah, I do remember that.
and the whole point of the book is what happens when we pull out the stake. And it's one of his slowest moving books, but that was the first one I ever read of his. And I just thought it was so unique because he writes about things that aren't, like
Yeah,
traveling vampire show. It's not really about vampires if you read it, but
yeah. The
it's
first thing
still
I read of his was Friday Night at the Beast House.
yeah.
The
So
real
you
short
definitely
novella one. Like, yeah, that was the first one I read of his.
yeah. I haven't read that one. Is it good?
Yeah, yeah. The whole Beast House series is awesome, and this Friday Night at Beast House is like the very last one. It was
Mm.
kind of a standalone. It didn't, I mean, involved some of the story, but it was short, like a novella. But I'd been reading, normal fiction, like Dances with Wolves and like Crichton Sphere, and just like very traditional. And then I found that book, Friday Night at Beast House, and I was like, what the fuck? Like books can be like this? Why is nobody else doing this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I found Layman myself. Was just in the bookstore looking at like the horror section, and I was looking for something super unique because I was tired of just reading like everybody reads Stephen King. Everybody, and if you've seen his movies, you pretty much read the book. And
Yeah,
so I was looking for something unique, and I just remember seeing the title "The Stake," and I pulled it out, and it had such a cheesy '80s cover, and then I read the back
yeah, they do.
premise, and I was like, I gotta read this, and it was 500 pages, and as soon as I got in, I was hooked, like from beginning to end, and so Richard Lehman, I recommend him wholeheartedly to anybody that likes the old '80s slashers because that's pretty much what he wrote, except for it was just
Well,
funny.
and it's super pervy. It's a lot of
Yeah,
like,
it's almost
it's almost like my
like
dreams at night.
yeah, it's like the director of Friday the 13th or or the Halloween series got together with and I know you haven't
Porkies.
yeah, exactly. Got together with Porkies. That's actually like the best description in the world now that I think about it. It's like a combination between Friday the 13th and Porky's. So if you like those, just pick up Richard Lehman and your heart will be completely satisfied. That's the
And
best.
you'll pop boners on buses.
Yep, exactly. Dude, yeah, if only. I mean, granted, I wouldn't want to see all my family members slaughtered and all that stuff, but sometimes it would be really nice if like a Richard Lehman novel was actually like, if that's how life was, it would make it a
Yeah,
lot.
because it's fucking excight.
Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen next, and dude, it's too bad he died. Imagine what he would be writing now. I wonder if he would have cucked out to like the SJWs and stuff and started writing softer shit.
Probably not, because his fan base was in the UK. He never was big here, from what I
Yeah.
can tell or what they say. So no,
Well,
I think over there they would have still hold strong to
yeah.
give me
Well,
the
and
gore.
he's also got enough fans. I think he would have probably just kept up with doing. I hope he didn't have cucked out because, like, it would suck if he was alive and then they'd and then he's just started kowtowing to the cancel culture and just being like, oh, I'm going to take this stuff out because that's not nice. I'm going to start putting, I'm going to start putting more.
Yeah, he would have dropped all the any of the. He probably would have dropped a lot of the gay stuff, like the
Yeah,
fags. He'd even write fags and like faggot, and he probably would have dropped that at
yeah, he
this
probably
point.
would have. He would have dropped that. I still think he would still be more interesting than a lot of the writers that are coming
Dude,
out
I
now.
bet he would have. I bet he would have hopped on this trans bandwagon, but taken the dark paths with it.
You think so?
Talk about the bodybuilder in the woods with his cheetah mankini on. It would have been like a hermaphrodite or like some trans person, like just to
Instead of
make
wearing
it
like
even that.
like wearing like a loincloth and just like you could see the cock and ball bouncing around as
Yeah.
the running around.
Well, because he did play in like the area of like perverted disgust. Like there were definitely scenes in books where it'd be like an older woman that's trying to do a young kid, and he talks about how like gross and saggy and like she's just like so eager for his cock and stuff. So I'm sure he would have explored that even further, like the
With the tranny.
perversion disgust. Yeah,
Yeah, I could see that.
it's hard to
Speaking
know. Like he could have made movies, and that would have dramatically altered things. So who knows? That's
yeah. Dude, I think you gotta get like pick up his mantle and write the tranny killer. You gotta. Like
oh maybe.
because one of your early writings were kind of more along the lines of layman, right? Like
The
the
horror, yeah. Yeah, the
yeah.
first book I wrote, I put it in the layman Facebook group and they booted me out. I was like, because I wrote it and I like had dedicated to him, so I put it in that group and they banned me. They didn't like
Yeah,
that.
that's, a lot of those groups are gay, dude. I've met so many people in that group that are just fucking gay. Like, I would be surprised if Richard Lehman would actually like count them as fans. Like, that's one thing I hate about like the horror community. I'm not talking the writing community and stuff, but they act all hardcore, and especially the writers, they'll get like these black and white photos where they look all hardcore and stuff, but then they bitch about all these like just someone putting a book in a group. They can't even
Well, and it
handle.
wasn't like I just dropped the book. I put like that I was a fan and that's why I dedicated the book to him, and I attempted my best at doing something like him. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
They
and
didn't.
that's stupid. Like to me, I don't know, man. Like I think that
I get it because that group has a lot of. If every follower did that, the whole page would just be people's books. So I mean, I understand on one hand, but
yeah, but I've also been a part of that same group, and they don't. It's not like they get post after post after post. So I don't know.
yeah, that first book I tried to was a attempt at some manner of replication,
Yeah,
very much so. And then the next one was not. It still had had my sensibilities, which I liked Layman, but the first one was definitely where I was attempting something like that. Yeah.
yeah. I'll have to ask you in private because I know that those are under your like given name. I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have to ask you in private which one that is. Um, how did you get into the comedy writing?
Um, so I started the Bridget Chase because I wrote those like uh, two novels and like that. I don't know which that third one. I don't know if it was novel length. It was like 40,000 words, but so I wrote four things horror, and then when you write something and you don't get that many sales. I had a few, but like not that many. So I was like, well, I put all this effort. I'm gonna just try to make money, and then I try to write really sexual things as a woman using
Yeah,
Bridget Chase. That's where the name came from. And I tried to like market to dudes on Facebook, but all they wanted to do was get pictures of me. They wouldn't buy, but they'd placate like, oh yeah, baby, I'll buy, but you got some pictures and stuff. So that didn't work out. And then I had the book. I had two books banned, and then after that, I was like, well, fuck all this. I'm gonna write some crazy ass stuff, and that's kind of where that started. Whereas like I'm gonna write for the entertainment of the moment of writing. So if it just bends sideways at a dime, that's just how it's gonna be. and that's where it started.
Did you ever
I think
read Bizarro before you started writing, like the crazy shit?
no, I didn't even know it was a thing. I
Yeah,
didn't know it was a thing until after I wrote a while, and somebody messaged me and said something about Bizarro fiction. I was like, oh, this has a name. I just thought I was doing random shit. Like,
yeah. Where did you get the name Hemby? Like when I first stumbled onto you, I was like, "Is this dude like really African or something? Is he taking like some weird like Harambe type thing? Where did Hemby come from? Because you call yourself
um,
Hemby fiction."
so I don't really do it much anymore. I used to make up weird names just for. I had two dogs, and one was Beeble, and the other was Gilly. Um, and then I don't know. I'd make up these random names, and Himby was one of them that I used to like. So I was like, well, this was before I knew about Bizarro or anything, and so I was like, I'm just making up my own new what would you call that?
Genre?
Yeah, like a genre. So I was like, I'm gonna call it Himby. And then I used it for a while, but I stopped because then I found out there's a Himby ice cream thing.
Mm.
It's like an ice cream brand called Himby. And I was like, well, and there's also like a writer and his last name's Himby. And I was like, well, I don't want to get mixed up I don't want to be mixed up with this dude in ice cream. So I kind of dropped it.
And just went to celebrity sparkle trash.
Well, I thought there'd be like, I thought I could come up with like a new genre or new something. It's just kind of bizarro mixed with I don't give a fuck. Like basically, I think it's even less. It cares even less than bizarro because some of my stories just really take weird turns because I'm bored while I'm writing it, and I think you know that I get bored while I'm
Yeah.
writing, so I'll just change everything on a dime just because I'm bored and I don't care what you feel when you read it.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons I liked you is because like you and I have different kind of paths. Like I when I found Layman, that's when I discovered Bizarro and I got involved in the Bizarro scene, and I thought it was just going to be a bunch of cool people talking about writing weird stuff, and it just turned out to be a bunch of people bitching about shit. But
But that's
um,
Facebook. Well, no, you said you went to. Did you go to cons or like
yeah, I
expos or
went to a
anything?
convention,
Oh,
but
okay.
the funny thing is when I went to that convention, after I left, there was this big ordeal about this dude. Basically, the story is that he stalked this chick, and then what I heard from the other side, someone who was defending him, was that he wasn't stalking her. It was like this big thing. But then, like a couple years later, at another convention that I didn't go to, as soon as the convention was over, they pretty much tried to blacklist this writer because of they have this thing called the Bizarro Showdown, and
Hmm.
this dude he wrote a book for this press called Deadite Press, and his name is Chandler Morrison. So if you want to go and look into that, you can. It's pretty easy to find out what happened. But essentially, what happened was he talked to the editor of Deadite Press, and he was like, "Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a performance piece." And he comes from an extreme horror background, so he's not 100% sure about the Bizarro Showdown. So he was like thinking that it was a gross out thing, like make
Hmm.
people grossed out.
But yeah, that's a good part of it.
So he took a baby doll, and a dildo, basically strap on or something like that, and put blood on the baby and simulated sex with it because that's a scene from his book.
Oh, okay.
Now, make what of that you will, but the problem that I had with it was okay, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I wouldn't feel necessarily comfortable with that if I had been there, but I wouldn't be bitching about it and calling for his book to be taken down. And the reason the people at the show, it was said that they applauded and laughed, but it was people online that called for his head when they found out about it, and the main reason was because of the blood, they assumed that the baby was black. And so because it was a person of color, essentially, they
Oh
were
no.
calling for him to be just cut off and stuff. And I've said this in private discussions with authors. Well, the fucked part about it is social justice won the day. People that were laughing and applauding it, they went into the comments and they were like, "Oh yeah, at the time I, you know, laughed, but I also felt really uncomfortable and blah 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 blah." And now they're hiring security for any future convention. That Bizarro's dead, dude. It's a dead genre. Nobody's gonna go to that fucking convention because they're all a bunch of fucking wieners. But
That's so dumb because the premise of Bizarro is an element of surprise or shock
mm,
or contention. And so I mean, I get that they might not have known what they were going to see when they went there, but
the
that's the arena
experience.
they entered into. That was sort of the
Yeah.
point, is that they
Well,
might not know what they'll encounter, and then they got freaked out, and then they don't like it because
yeah.
they
Well, and
colored baby.
then they fucking got the dude's book pulled from Deadite Press, and then the editor of Deadite Press, who's a super liberal, uh, he ended up getting fired for that.
Oh,
And
jeez.
yeah, and when they let him go, he explained it. Because the people that own Deadite Press also own Eraserhead Press, and it's all under one umbrella. And they do this convention in Portland, and
Funny because if like Shia LaBeouf had done something like that under the premise of art, people would have been like
oh wow, it's so
so
artistic.
impressed. It would have been like on the Esquire magazine cover.
Well,
Like,
and the funny thing is I always explain it, and I get the feeling that on this next podcast, because I do have some axe to grind with like the writing community, not too much, but as the people that I have invited me on to this other podcast.
you can
But
talk about writing community. When I said we shouldn't talk about it, I just meant it shouldn't be like our focus of every
no,
episode.
well, and it's not going to be like this. This is pretty much just um, the one thing that I've always said about this situation with this Chandler Morrison guy uh, was basically that he should have said that he should have stood by what he said. And this is why I'm listing this, because anything, we're probably not going to get a lot of listeners, but the listeners that we get, I'm not going to retract what I say. I'm not going to apologize for what you say. We're going to stand by what we say. And if someone finds out who the fuck I am, I'm not going to apologize for something that I said. And this is why I make this point. This dude should have stood by what he said, and or did in his performance. And the way that I've always said it to people was he should have just said, "You just don't understand the metaphor. I was participating as the part of a colonizer, and the baby represented Africa, and I was the white man fucking over Africa." And um, really, it was just paint to look like blood, and people were making a big deal about it being a person of color, and because they're a bunch of fucking pussies, what.
I mean, I don't think he should have defended himself in any fashion at all.
Oh, he went on after a while, and he was like, "I have sat back, I've looked at the comments, and I sincerely apologize." And you know what, they didn't fucking care. They didn't fucking care. And that's what happens
Well,
when
it's
you.
because they clearly weren't his fans to begin with, so he should have just
Wow.
dusted himself off, never apologized, never even made a. He shouldn't even posted anything to try to validate what he did. He's just brushed off whatever people are still following him. Keep those, and the others that are pissed, let them go
well,
about their life being pissed.
and the odd part is he got fucking cancer, and he's been battling cancer, and ever since he got cancer, people are all super sympathetic, and it's just like, it just shows you how fucking fake people are.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, we're not going to talk too much about the writing community because they don't really matter. But the
It's
one
like any
thing,
community on Facebook. It's just
yeah,
any community you
it's all
join is the
bullshit.
same.
Have you ever experienced that in the action figure community?
No, because like everything I do on social, I kind of take what I want and I don't get involved in things I don't want to be involved in.
No,
So I'm
that's
sure it happens. There's people I've seen, you see posts where somebody posts something and somebody's like, I don't even read it. Like I try to be careful what I follow, and then I try to take what I like out of what their content. And then when people are doing their bitching, I don't even get involved. I don't read it.
yeah.
They're upset about it. Like I'm a picture guy on my social, so I follow toys, so I don't care about what people are saying. unless if it's like, oh, look at this toy and this is when it was made or something. But
Yeah.
it's a very visual thing, so yes, it does happen. I don't know how much. I've definitely seen where something you can see the heat. You like read something and you're like, oh, well,
Yeah.
somebody's mad about something.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, man. Like I barely get on Facebook. Like I said the last time, it's just really to get on there to see if you've messaged me, if my brother's messaged me, and now this other good dude, Zach McGaha, another writer, messages me. But that's pretty much it. Other than that, I'm not on there. Like
Yeah, well,
I
even on
don't.
TikTok, like these kids, they try to pull me into stuff. They'll like
Yeah,
tag me in their videos where they're like, "Go get them, toy team or battle team or whatever they call us," and then they message me like, "Hey, this person said this to me about toys." I'm like, "I'm an adult, man. I'm not getting involved in this stuff."
yeah. I mean, but isn't there other adults in the action figure kind of community
There are,
that?
but like I said, my content of playing with them seems to draw 13 and under. So it's like a self-defeating. There's no like on YouTube, I can't make it. I can't put videos and then try to make it monetary or anything. And I don't know, building a following of like 10-year-old boys on TikTok. Just there's just no drive. That's why I haven't been posting there because
Yeah,
it just seems like I keep thinking, okay, well, once I get to this number of followers, even though they're young, it'll start to spread to older. But I think TikTok knows who to show it to now. So I'm just getting all more and more kids, and
yeah,
I
but I
don't
mean,
care about that.
if you could still build that audience, here's the thing, dude. It's you just got to find that platform because obviously it's not easy building up 10,000 followers, especially when you don't care. Like you don't care if you get like 10,000 followers, but you're still
No.
doing it with just showing these simple videos. If you put
Actually, I
a
think it's been worse since I had. I think it was better when I had 100.
yeah, but I mean, if you put the creativity into it, like there's people, uh, my kids, for example, like this dude who plays games with his son, and this guy's got the most annoying fucking voice in the world. Like, if I saw this guy, I'd probably want to strangle him because he's just so
Fred,
annoying.
that old Fred. Remember that kid that was like popular a while ago with like the
Oh yeah, yeah.
high pitch, like
Hi,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hi, I'm Fred. Ah. Yeah, that shit was annoying. Yeah, I remember that guy. He
Oh,
got
I mean, oh, go ahead.
oh, he got famous for a while though.
Yeah, he did. He made like 2 movies, and then he probably got on cocaine or crack and did himself in or something.
Yeah. Put a gun to his head. My balls aren't dropping, and my voice is gonna sound the same forever.
Dude, well, he was part of Disney, right? It was Disney that helped him
I
do
think
those shows and
Nickelodeon.
TV. Oh, Nickelodeon. Well,
Yeah,
either one clearly has a system of making people lose their minds once they get of older than 20.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, think about it, man. To be famous just for that little bit of time and taste all the fruits of the world
Yeah,
might
it
be worth
depends.
it.
I'm not sure if fame is a one. What would you call it? Like I think there's a lot of varieties of it. Like you
Yeah,
said, this guy that he had his book taken down and that guy fired, and then like there's all kinds of varieties of it. So it kind of depends what variety Fred had. If he had the good kind where he can like go bang chicks, or if he had the bad kind where he's like depressed in like a hotel room in a city he doesn't know. You know, like,
dude. Yeah, but you know, the funny thing is if I was a teenager, like say in New York, and I was making like a big budget movie, and I was just in my hotel room and stuff. See, my mind, I'd be one of those people that would lose their minds because my mind would be like, you know what? I know that for a fact there are fucking hookers in this city. There's cocaine in this city, and I've got a shit ton of money.
oh, you're gonna
Let's
do the Hugh Grant.
yeah, exactly. Didn't he? Was it like his wife was Elizabeth Hurley, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a shame to know it because she wouldn't
And
blow him, so he paid some black chick to blow him.
yeah, it was like some fat black chick, right?
Yeah, well, I don't think it was the looks that drew him to it. I'm
No,
sure it's because Elizabeth
it's the
Hurley's like,
meat.
I'm too good to blow. I'm
But
too
it,
good to
I
do
mean,
that.
if you're Hugh Grant and you got the money, why pay pay like yeah. I almost said why pay a black chick, but you could at least pay a hot black chick because I think I remember seeing like a picture of this chick. Because wasn't she like a housekeeper or some crap?
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I just know that it crushed my dreams that Elizabeth Hurley doesn't blow.
Yeah, well, like Arnold Schwarzenegger doing the housekeeper, getting that chick knocked up.
I know, it shows you, man. Even if you have money and you're famous, it doesn't mean once you're with a chick, things can still be real shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, money doesn't buy happiness. What buys happiness is money and singleness.
Not even that.
Yeah. Would you consider yourself a generally happy person?
Most of the time, until like bosses tell me I got an unreasonable amount of paperwork that's impossible to do by a due date that isn't going to happen.
Well, I got a couple criticisms from the few people that listened.
Oh, okay, cool. I
And
always
this
like criticisms. They're better
yeah,
than when people kiss your ass.
well, here's what they said, and I think yours is a little bit better. They said on the first episode, you sounded depressed, and I sounded like I was trying to be cool.
Yeah, I probably say, yeah. That's
Yeah,
probably a little
maybe.
bit true.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's not that I'm depressed across the board, but there are
yeah,
certain things that if you bring up, I'm not excited about. Like if you
yeah,
bring up TikTok and like my toy playing, like that, it's not exciting for me. I mean, I do it, and I'm kind of not doing it much anymore. But yeah,
yeah. I've noticed that, and it's not
I
that
think
I'm
they just
depressed.
heard my disinterest, but
Yeah. Well, there's just some shit that, we're going to talk about at times where you're just going to check out. And then there's things that you'll say, especially if this goes on for a while. It could just be us being two buddies just looking to connect in I guess, a
I kind
deeper
of thought that's what we were already doing. We weren't even
Yeah.
on the same page then.
Well, like my hope would be that this would like turn into something. But I mean, the market for podcasts is so saturated. Maybe
Dude,
if we,
there are celebrities. There's Jack Black right now making podcasts every fucking day.
yeah. I mean, I guess
So
if
the
we were,
likelihood we do one a week and we're like anything to listen to is
yeah.
unlikely.
I
But
mean,
you gotta
yeah.
stop acting so cool, man. You gotta stop being cool, and I gotta get more excited about things.
Yeah. So how do we do that? Like, how do you talk like you're more excited, and how do I talk?
We don't change.
Yeah.
You just be yourself. If people think I'm depressed and you're trying to be cool, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I like the criticism. It's
Yeah.
like I said, it's better than when somebody like kisses our ass. So
Well, didn't they say? Have you ever heard of Coach Red Pill?
Coach who?
Red Pill.
Oh, red pill.
Yeah.
No, but I know what he's talking about by the red pill.
Yeah. Yeah. He says don't be yourself, and I think he even uses. I think he said being yourself is gay or something like that.
It kind of is.
Like, yeah.
But then who are you gonna be instead? You're just gonna like mimic some other person that's being themselves that's gay. So it's kind of gay all around, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. When I went and looked at the YouTube content of the person who created it or criticized me trying to sound cool, and it was like, yeah, maybe I'm trying to sound a little cool. I don't know. I think I'm talking normal, but at least I don't sound like this. Like the typical YouTuber. Hey, everybody. It's the Dick and the Wiz, and we're here.
Dude, you should just try to talk even more cool.
So, okay, let's see.
Radical man.
All right, like, dude, I totally get what you're saying. You're like hitting me with some knowledge. I don't know what's cool anymore. Like, we're in our 30s, we're in our mid 30s, so what's the point of trying to be cool?
I'm trying to think of what even like a cool voice would be now.
Probably Matthew McConaughey.
It would be kind of like this. Is it where you at the end you raise your voice like it's a question?
No, I think that's condescending. I think that's condescending and faggy. Personally, like that's like talking down to someone. Like, you don't really understand what I'm talking about.
See, I don't even know what a cool voice is. Then
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't worry about it. I hope we get 200 comments of hate. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. At least I could laugh.
Well, the comment against me was from my own brother, so.
Oh, well then then that's a
But
brother just kicking you in the nuts because he's your brother.
yeah, I think he just thinks that I could go go the distance and stuff. He's like, you just like his thing was, you need to have topics, you need to have this, and it's like, yeah, but it's fun if we bullshit. Like,
Oh man, don't let it. Well, I don't know what you want out of this, but man, I don't want like I just want it to be whatever it is. Like if I
yeah,
wake up, if I wake up next Saturday and I want to talk about chipmunks and I want to use the voice of a chipmunk, I can do that. Like I don't
yeah,
want it to be like any kind
yeah.
of.
Let's just
Don't
keep
worry,
it.
don't worry. I don't have that desire, but I just want it
Yeah,
to be whatever it is.
I don't think we're gonna get more than maybe just a few followers, anyways. I think this is probably just more for us to just kind of like bullshit around, have something to do.
You're wrecking my dreams here, man. How am I ever gonna not be depressed if we don't get tons of followers?
Well, I
Like, isn't
mean,
that what life is for?
if you go and do a Kurt Cobain, then I'll have something to talk about that will garner me some interest.
See, I hate all this depression stuff that
Yeah,
is going around because even at work we have to take like courses and stuff to like make us recognize it in other people, and like it's so ridiculous because I think people are so confused with like that like sadness is a normal emotion. It's only depression when like everything's awesome in your life and
yeah,
you're still like thinking about how you want to off yourself and how bad everything is. Like you can't get out of bed when you like let's say you have your dream job, your dream life, and then you're still like can't get out of bed. That's depression. But like being sad or being disinterested in things, people are they automatically try to put all so many emotions under depression when it's just emotions. Like you have them, they
yeah,
come and go all day, every day.
yeah. I agree. Yeah, I, I think depression is one of those things that there's a lot of people that think they have it that really don't,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Because
then
their life sucks. So like if you're like I'm depressed, well, if your life sucks, that's probably why. But if you're content, you make 100,000 a year, you got a house to live in, a job that doesn't torture you, and you're still sad all the time, then you probably have it. But
well, damn, dude, you just described me. I'm depressed.
why? Because you have everything, a job you like that doesn't bother you.
No, I don't. I don't got the job that I like. I don't make $100,000 a year.
No, then I'm saying you're not depressed. You're just sad because your life sucks.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Well, like I had some low times because I was homeless,
Yeah,
and that doesn't make me suicidal or depressed. It just meant everything was so shitty. It seemed like the best way out might be getting out of it altogether. Like dropping the game. But that doesn't mean
yeah,
I'm like that's it's not clinical depression. That's you're
no,
fucked. You got
no,
nowhere to live. You got no money. You're
yeah,
screwed.
yeah. So,
But
oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
You go ahead, man. Your thought was probably more interesting than mine.
Not really. I was just gonna say, your brother can mind his own stuff here. I hope he doesn't sway you. I'm worried now because you're like, oh, he criticized me and he's telling me what to do. And we're
No,
going to come back to the episode and you're going to be like, and on this episode, our agenda is going to be from 9:05 to 9:55. We're going to have this guest in, and then we're going to talk about this. I have an agenda sheet here. I emailed it to you. If you could take that, fax that to him, and then he'll fill it out. You send it back to me that we got it, but you got to tell me by this time that we had it. I'm kind of scared of that now.
you'll be talking about like something that's actually important to you, and then I'll be like, "Hold on, Dick. We got to mention our sponsors now."
Exactly.
No, no, dude. He was just. I don't know. It doesn't even really matter because it's like this is more fun. Like I'm a procrastinator, anyways. So like I wouldn't even be able to compile notes. Like I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, why? I could just do a real quick internet search and find some shit that I could bring up if I want to bring up.
I guess I'm just hoping that you're not trying to gear it towards your brother being liking it to being like a follower of it. Like I hope you can accept. Maybe he won't be. Maybe it's not going
Oh
to be
hell
his.
no, dude. He doesn't even read. He will read my books every now and then, but no, I don't really care if he follows it. I actually would prefer it if none of my family followed it, anyways, because then it's just like I kind of get to say whatever I want, and nobody's got to bring that up at a
I'm
Thanksgiving thing.
surprised you told him about it, period. Or like
Well,
let
if
him
I
even know what the channel
well, if
was.
I was worried about him listening and actually listening, then I wouldn't have said, "Oh, it was my brother," and I wouldn't have made fun of his YouTube channel. So no, I'm not worried about it. We'll keep it casual, and that's what we'll do. Because I don't expect anything out of this. If something were to happen, and this became like we were like all of a sudden as big as Joe Rogan, that'd be cool. But if it doesn't happen, it's whatever. So
I just had like a picture of like if we got that big, like you and I wouldn't even be friends anymore, but we'd still be doing the podcast because we have the
just because of
followers.
professional courtesy.
Yeah, to become like this, like underhanded, like remarks to each other. Well, clearly we're not friends, but we're just trying to keep the gears going.
Yeah, that who knows, man? Maybe maybe that'll happen. I don't think so, but um, I don't know. What do you want out of this?
Nothing actually.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
or even to be totally honest, like each episode's a maybe. Even today, I was like, well, maybe we'll just drop it and not do it. But
yeah,
I think you kind of know from talking to me, I like to kind of do things just to see what happens, just to like
yeah.
toss my hat into the bowl and like see what occurs after it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the whole reason, and I'll be forthright. The whole reason that like I would mention a podcast and all that stuff isn't because I think I'm going to make money off of a podcast. It's because you're my friend, and I wanted to get to know you a bit more than
Well,
how.
let's be honest here. Originally, it's you've always wanted to do a podcast because you thought it'd be something you enjoy and something that would work, and I was against it. But
Yeah,
then we kind of got on board when we decided we were going to try to sell books, right?
yeah,
Right. And
yeah,
I don't know what my hopes are in that realm, but I don't really care what happens, and we'll see. We'll just see like I said, we'll see what, or on my end, I'm just going to see what occurs.
yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. The whole reason of this is just basically to get to know you, like basically just have a way to bullshit with a friend, and it's a way to pass some time. And if people listen, cool. If people don't, cool. If we get bored, then
I can't imagine people listening. I mean, people have listened to some amount, but it's hard to imagine. But then again, I listen to all kinds of dumb shit because sometimes you just need that dumb shit in the background while you fill out like a
yeah.
inventory
But
form or something.
the funny thing is that what you and I consider entertaining is completely different than what other people would consider entertaining. Like, there's some people that could love this, just being like, man, just hearing these people like talk about shit, and
Dude,
they
that dude's cool voice. I just can't. I just
yeah,
have to listen.
yeah, he's so cool. Like he pauses and he says, "Whoa," and like
He's
all of a
so
sudden,
cool. If only I could emulate him. He's so cool.
oh wait, was that an attempt at a gay voice?
That was an attempt at any kind of voice that was off-putting.
All right, try your gay. I want to see what your gay lisp sounds like.
Oh, I'm not good at it. It's probably gonna be that. I have like one voice.
All right, well, try it. Give it a shot.
I can't do it now because now I'm like laughing.
All
I'll
right,
have to do it. Just it's like a spontaneous. It's not
well,
like a
here, I'll give
planned.
it a try. Hey everyone, it's Dick in the Whiff,
That's like Richard Simmons.
and now we're gonna work out with fat people.
Dude, I can't do it because like that's a super gay. But then a lot of it is like the guys that just talk like a woman. Like, and I can't even do it because I don't pay enough attention to women to be able to emulate.
Yeah, you know, it that's it's not gay people that bother me. Like when I lived in Portland and stuff, gay people never bothered me. It, I was always okay with it. I didn't have a problem. What bothers me is their voice when they're like super effeminate. Like, and it's not because it's almost like I knew this gay guy from my ex-wife who when he moved to Portland he was kind of normal, and then once he got there he started like getting into the scene and like changing and starting to be a little bit more flamboyant than he had been
Yeah, I was gonna say
previously.
the problem is it's a caricature. It's not even like
Yeah.
authentic. It's like this
Uh,
caricature that they adopt or something.
yeah.
Like if you went back to like I don't know. I don't even know how far back. 1543, and there's some closeted gay dude. You got to wonder if he's really going to talk like that. Girlfriend, blah blah. Like,
No, it's a caricature, dude. It's
yeah.
all bullshit. And like, just because you get fucked in the ass by a guy doesn't mean that you talk like a bitch.
No, no. It's like when I was in middle school and I was skateboarding. People didn't think I was a cool skateboarder until I had the right shoes and shirt to go along with the outfit. You had to
Yeah.
like look the part too. So
Did you
same
wear the
thing.
beanie?
No, didn't wear the beanie because Texas is
Yeah,
always.
yeah,
It's not a beanie place.
yeah. I guess Oregon is a little bit more of a beanie place.
But yeah, I wore the baggy pants and how to get the right Vans or DCs or whatever
Yeah, were you
S's.
rocking them Jenkos?
No, I never got those because I wasn't like fashion aware enough. I knew the pants were baggy, but I didn't understand that there's a certain brand. So I just got really oversized jeans.
Yeah, that's what I did. Like I never wore Jenkos because by the time I'm 4 years behind you, but by the time that I got to school, um, in that age group, Trip, like the black baggy pants with like the chains on them and stuff,
Mm.
and fucking Jenkos, they were too expensive. And so I'd always like my dad. I remember distinctly we went to Ross one time, and he was like trying to convince me and my brother to buy pants that fit, and we
Oh
were
god.
like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, hell no. Well, as a punishment, one time, he actually sent me to school dressed in tight ass Wranglers, a button up shirt with a bolo tie, and cowboy boots.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's a rough period of life to do that in.
yeah. I was 16 at the time, and I was like, I hadn't driven yet, so I was taking the bus, and in order to get out of it, I had my brother toss up some clothes from our basement window, and I changed out in the cold.
Yeah, man, kids are cruel. People are like, oh, people are born nice, and like, kids are so nice. Man, kids are so cruel, and you have to like beat that out of them practically.
Yeah.
They gang up on anybody that's even slightly has something convenient to make fun of.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Adults are the same fucking way too.
Yeah, true, true. I'm just saying some people think that humans are like naturally
Nice.
kind and loving and stuff, and
Nah, nah, we're not.
no, I
So what do you?
wasn't. I wasn't a fashion victim. I was.
Yeah,
I'm always been bad with fashion. Like I was wearing like Looney Tune shirts up until middle school until I got made fun of enough that I was like, I guess I can't wear cartoon characters.
yeah. I wore because my mom was super poor. My dad was military, so we kind of with him had a middle class background, but we didn't live with him that much. And when we did live with him, he was also kind of a cheap bastard. Like he didn't really care about like looking fashionable or anything. He was very
Yeah.
practical. So we didn't really get the fruits of that. But
He's
with
like,
my
your
mom,
lunchbox is also a survival kit with a tent and a.
yeah, pretty much, he'd send us to fucking school with MREs and shit. But no, it wasn't that bad. But
You're like, where's the bus pick me up? He's like, here's your compass. North northeast, 200 paces.
I'm pretty actually surprised that he didn't do shit like that. Like there, he was when we were younger. It's kind of weird because when we were young, he was super hardcore. Like he wasn't abusive towards us, but he definitely did not let us stumble. Like you got 3 warnings and then the belt. When you got to three, you knew you were getting the belt. So you better not push dad more than twice. And his standard of being pushed wasn't that hard.
Wow, he was very, very law and order, huh?
Yeah, and it wasn't bad. Like it's just the way that it was. He was raised in a different time. He was uh, pretty much a typical '80s dad. They don't put up with bullshit, and he didn't put up with bullshit, and he's probably the reason that I'm not in prison by now. Like because he did whoop my ass, he did whoop my brother's ass, but something changed when my youngest brother hit 15 and I was already an adult, and I start seeing this like softer side of my dad because he's gotten older and stuff, and my younger brother has diabetes and some other issues, and so my dad, we would see him like being softer and stuff, and it's like, what the fuck?
It's because he's older. His testosterone
Yeah,
has what do you call it?
yeah, I knew something was
Faded or
wrong.
something.
Like, we always had a TV, and in 1996, my dad got this big screen TV. 1996 or 95, he got this big screen boxy TV with a big wooden frame that he was super proud of, and he had that TV for I want to say until I was about 20. And the reason that he had it was because he took damn care of it, because he didn't use it. Like, he would watch maybe, I always remember him watching maybe one or two shows a week. Like, he wasn't a TV guy.
Dang.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, can I watch TV? No, I don't want to wear it out. Because I want it to work when I want to watch TV.
Exactly. You're gonna ruin the wood finish, John. You're gonna ruin this. And yeah, it was like that. Like, I remember him watching the Man Show a couple times, and he'd laugh and stuff. But over like the last 10 years, when I would go and visit him, he's become a completely different man. I see him sitting there eating chocolate. We didn't have sweets except for sweet tea in our house and the occasional birthday cake. We were allowed to eat or drink as much water as we wanted, and we could have a cup of sweet tea at night.
So do you find that like endearing or disgusting that he's discovered a new, I don't know, a new area of himself or a new side of himself?
Personally, I'm very disappointed with the man. like I want, the dad who doesn't give a shit about us to that extent, where, if we fuck up, he's going to be there to remind us that we fucked up. And now he's become more of like how my mom was back in the my mom is in some ways harder than he is.
Dude, so if you're soft like you are now, I'm not saying like we're all soft the way we are, but like when you're older, think how soft and feminine you'll be then. If he took that turn, imagine the turn we're going to take, because we're already we're not social justice stuff, but we're still softer than like your dad. So we're going to be really effeminate. I'm going to be like, The Wiz, I'm going to crochet today and make this beautiful pink.
No, I think he's finding himself again. Like, my dad, just some background. He was with, there's a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people talk like, oh yeah, the special forces. My dad was special force. My dad was in legit special forces. He wasn't just like, some dude who did administrative work. He was actually on a team.
Stirs the mashed potatoes, special forces.
Yeah, he was the special forces cook. He wasn't
special forces of mashed potatoes.
No, he was a combat medic with special forces with 10th group out of Fort Carson, Colorado, and so he was always a tough son of a bitch. Like, I wouldn't want to fight him even now, but I think just as he got older and the testosterone went down, I think he's just gotten more soft. He's not a pussy, but like, I would still be afraid, even with if my brother was to join me in trying to kick my dad's ass, I still wouldn't do it because I know my dad would fuck us up. But
see, I'm looking forward to that day when the testosterone finally stops pumping so much. Maybe I can get something done, like something of value.
Yeah. Well, now he's just enjoying life. Like, he's doing boar hunting because he's in Texas now. He's in outside of Dallas, and on the lake and stuff, and so he goes boar hunting and all this other stuff, and he's living the life. He's got like a nice pool and everything, so he's got that life, man. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll probably, because my kids already get to me. Like, I've only ever spanked my kids once each, and that was because they just pushed, but other than that, I'm a complete.
So you don't unleash the fury.
Yeah, I've never unleashed the fury on them. They walk all over me, and they're like, "Oh, I want this, and I have to like be like, I'm too much of my mom. Like, I'm not enough of my dad." So,
well, that's common now, where people don't spank at all. They don't. punished that much. So
Yeah, my kids are typically good though, so I don't feel like I have to do it. They're not hellions. If they were like, stealing shit from a store, then yeah, I would be going and doing that stuff. But they're
dude,
pretty
it
good.
sucks for people like that that go to prison.
Yeah,
That sucks.
yeah. Prison is definitely something I wouldn't want to definitely would not want to ever go to. Okay, what do you think your chances of? What do you think would happen to you in prison? Do you think you'd just get your ass beat? Do you think you'd lay low and not have any problems, or do you think you'd get raped?
I don't think I'd get raped, only because I have like irritable bowels, and when I get
So you'd just be
stressed,
shitting your pants.
that's that's the first thing to like I might not even feel stressed, but that's the first sign that I get stressed. So I think that would keep me from the rape part because I'm pretty sure I'd be pretty stressed if they're trying to do that, and they
Just
wouldn't
shit
want any
all
part of
over.
that. um, yeah, no idea. I'm probably too nice, so I'd probably get the shit kicked out of me until I couldn't get the shit kicked out of me. I imagine,
Yeah.
or
Or
something like
they
that. I
might
don't
just
know.
leave you the hell alone. It depends on where you're at. You're in Houston, so there's probably some
I
hardcore
mean,
prison close by.
I have no idea because I've never. I mean, even people that I've just never hung around that element to know. Because most guys I get along with just fine. I don't usually
Yeah.
have a lot of problems with people, but I've never hung around that level of, I don't know, that personality. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like weird that, like, so the way the world is right now is like conducive to me being the way I am, but like the world the way it is for some is like conducive to them being like the worst version of themselves. And that really sucks because it kind of feels like it's not their choice. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they'd do to me. I'd like to be cool and be like hard target Van Damme and go in there and do some jump kicks, but I haven't been in enough fights that I would be able to stand up against somebody that's in prison that's probably fought way more. So
Yeah. I mean, if we both went to hardcore prison, let's be honest, we either get the shit kicked out of us, raped, or we'd be given some blowjobs.
yeah, I don't know about that part. I don't know. I mean, like I told you, I study martial arts, but
Yeah.
I mean that's effective against another martial artist. I don't know. I don't know how it'd be one of those things. I don't think I want to find out, but I guess I would have to find out how much that all that training paid off.
Yeah.
Because I did all that sparring, so I mean, you learn how to like manage to keep people off you, but prison's a different story because I think prison's like being mugged, where like 98% of the time it's when the
I,
person's unaware. So I don't
yeah.
think you're going to see it coming, kind of thing. I think you get stabbed in the side and then the shit
Well,
kicked out of you. So
well, honestly, it's never just one person doing it. Usually, it's always like a
yeah,
group. So no matter how badass you are, if a group is coming on you, chances are you're fucked.
yeah, and that's what I mean with martial arts is like anytime you do like sparring tournaments, you enter in the ring opposite each other, you like bow, it's all you got all this time to plan things out and think, and they break you apart, and then you have more time to think. But so yeah, I have no idea in a real fight in prison. I'd just probably get whipped, and until, like I said, until you learn better.
Yeah. Well, let me set up the scenario. Now, this would probably I'm not gonna knock you because this is probably what would happen to both of us. You're in the shower. You're
Yeah,
showering, washing your ass, and all of a sudden a guard walks out as the leader of, we'll just say, Aryan Nation, because you've just pissed him off. Maybe you look a little too Jewy or something like that.
okay.
Comes in with about four other guys. They're all just naked, and they walk into the water as you're washing your ass and singing. Let's see, what would you be singing? Oh yeah, the final countdown.
Yeah,
Like you're singing that into your soap, and then you notice them. You ain't walking out of there
yeah.
in that situation. That's the type of prison situation. They're predators, man.
Oh, what would I do?
Yeah,
Or
we
were
could
you
go
gonna?
with that. I
Oh,
was just using it.
I
I
thought you
was,
were gonna tell us what we would do or what would
oh,
happen.
well, in that situation, you'd be wet and be slippery. They'd be slippery, and it would probably be a big old mess of them stomping their slippery ass feet on your head. Like that's the reality. That I was just saying compared to like a martial arts tournament, compared to like a prison attack scenario, or you're in like a laundry room folding laundry, just trying to be a good inmate to get an early release date, and then all of a sudden, just like four guys just jump you out of nowhere. That seems like it's a typical scenario.
Yeah, yeah. And you might not even turn around when they come in to jump you. It might
No,
just be a
they're
blind
not gonna.
attack.
Yeah, they're not gonna care about a fair fight.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd do because I haven't been there. Because part of me thinks, well, the anal, that's out of the question. The blowjob, I could almost see myself being like, well, then who blows me, and then who blows him? Like,
Yeah,
where's
is
this?
there like
Where's this
a
line of blowing going? Like, I want in on this.
is there like a
uh,
fair?
and then part of you is like, I'm a man and I would fight. I have no idea because just like that chick that I said I dated, that I went negative on the rape fantasy. I think
Yeah,
there's so many variables that would come into play when you're in that situation because
yeah.
you'd know whether you know how fast the guards are going to break you up. You know how many fights these guys have been. You've probably seen, and you've probably seen the aftermath of what happens if they aren't successful. Like there's too many elements to even know what you do. So I'd say there's a chance you fight, a chance you submit.
Luckily for us, I've known a lot of people that have been to prison, and they say that the rape isn't as common as you'd think. Uh,
Yeah,
they've
hopefully.
they've also said, and this is going for me, so I'm going to guess it would be for you too. Is I don't come off as super weak, and they usually look for weak people, and I'm also likable enough that I would probably just be left alone. I'd probably just coast through, just kind of like being friendly, but not really starting shit with anybody, or as
Well,
long
it
as
depends what you go in for. Depends what you
yeah,
go in there for too. So
yeah. I mean, if you went in because you knifed a chick while you're banging her, some people might think that was kind of cool, like you did that on your first date.
yeah, I never have second dates. No I'm kidding.
Now, if you did open that door and you started slashing chicks on the first date, what do you
Oh,
think you
slashing like full on like actual murder.
yeah, like if you just went down that road and you became the first date killer, what do you think your name would be like? What do you think the papers would refer to you as?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Because my first thing was I was gonna say they'd call you like the Mr. Clean Killer because I'd clean that shit up, and then I was like, well, maybe I want it.
Yeah.
I don't know because I don't know how I'd react if I'd want to like try to clean everything to the T, which I could see doing, or I don't know if I'd just like I'd be so far away from home, like I'd go to another state that I'd bail. I don't know because I don't think the people that actually do the killing ever come up with the name that they get signified as.
No, it just comes up with how did you meet her? Was it on online or
Yeah, it was online. I did a brief stint of online dating and then I quit.
yeah? Was it like through
Yeah,
POF or something?
was what?
Was it like through POF or anything?
Um, yeah, I did POF and then I tried Tinder and then I tried Match briefly.
Okay, so if anybody listens to this, I'm gonna ask that you just put in the comments what do you think the Dick's killer name would be?
Again, like I think a lot depends on how you leave the crime scene and what weird fetish you employ when you're doing the killing and
Hmm.
yeah, I don't think it's just something. I'm sure they can muse on something funny, but yeah, who knows?
When was the last time you got laid? Was it like this year or
No, no, it was a long time ago. It was I don't know. It's got to be like 5 years ago.
damn? How do you do it, dude?
How do you not do it? Who wants a chick that you like bang and then you go in your bathroom? She's got her fucking makeup bag in there.
Yeah, I can see that, but you don't have to go that route. I'm surprised you're not like on Tinder or something, just like trying to get like one night stands.
No, no. I mean, I'm sensible enough to understand that just because I want something that doesn't mean anything doesn't mean that the other person doesn't want it. Plus, I don't believe when the female partner says she doesn't want anything. I don't believe that.
No, they're always looking, especially around our age. They're never just looking for fun.
Yeah, I told you I have a terrible post nut syndrome. Very, very, very bad. That takes like days and days and days to go away.
Yeah. You want to describe it?
uh, I become Neo and I'm in the Matrix and I see all the numbers and I see the number of my bank account that it took to get laid and I see the hours spent at the restaurant I didn't want to eat at talking about shit that I didn't care about just to get that nut. And then once I have the nut, I'm like, oh, I could have just done that myself. It's like if you like, doesn't happen often, but if you've ever just like overeaten something gross, it's kind of like that. Where you're kind of grossed out by everything.
Mm.
You're like, I shouldn't have maybe done that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I could see how I would get to that point if.
And plus the promiscuous stuff, I do not want kids. I am very, and I don't want to even, I don't, yeah. Even wearing a condom, I'll pull out and stuff because I don't want any risk. So,
Yeah,
and also people are just messed up. Like I don't think I'm hugely messed up, but even in my messed up, I don't want to see what's past that
yeah,
in other people, and I don't want to sleep next to that, and I don't want to entangle my life in it and tell them I'll stay with them forever with that.
yeah. That makes sense.
So it's been a while. I think I told you last girlfriend I was like I don't know 5 or 6 years ago because she dumped me kind of like right after I became homeless. So which is understandable.
So she dumped you because you became homeless.
Pretty much.
How long were you dating her?
Oh, not too long. We only dated like uh I don't know. It might have been over a year. But the problem was I never told her I loved her. That was one of the big issues, I think, because I didn't. So like,
Did you bring it up? Like you don't ever.
yeah, well, she. So there was a point finally where she said she loved me,
Mhm.
but yeah, she kind of avoided it, and we both avoided it because I didn't want to say it because I didn't, and I don't know. Yeah, I became homeless, and then we were together a little while, but she was. We'd fight a lot. Like if I jerked off, she'd get so mad. She thought it was like hers. Like I couldn't do that to go to sleep, you know. And
So, wait, just because you jerked off, she'd get like
well,
upset.
I'm just saying that's one of the things. Like we'd fight about a lot of things. And she had a kid, and man, I did not bond with that kid.
Yeah.
That kid was just an obstacle. Like I would look at that kid, and like I did, he was just an obstacle.
Well, we've talked about like dating single moms typically, and
Oh man, never again. I made that. That was just like I had an affair with a married woman. You do some things once, and you say never again, never
how
again.
long did that affair last?
Not too long because I kind of she finally gave up the truth because at first she said she wasn't married
Mm.
and she didn't tell me about her husband for a while. And then she finally did fess up and we kept on it for a little bit, not too long, like a couple weeks, and then it kind of everything explode. It just hurts everybody involved,
Yeah. So
you know.
you were having like a conscience thing, or
No, because we still fucked after I knew, but it kind of that kind of became gross too, because like I don't know what she did before she came to me. Like, I don't know if I'm kissing her and she just blew her husband and he just
yeah,
nutted on her face. And like, that was kind of a problem. But no, because she wrote me in because number one, I know she was married. And then when she told me she was married, she was saying she was going to leave him, which I believed her because she made it sound really shitty.
yeah.
And then I realized after a couple weeks that she was just talk. She wanted me to fuck her and her husband do whatever, provide. And I kind of got tired.
Yeah, he's probably fucking someone on the side too.
Yeah, I don't know because I never really even when she told me I don't know if that was all the truth, and so I bailed because you gotta be careful like who you're spending your time with and who you're around. I don't want to. Who knows? I never met her husband. For all I know, I could have walked out of like a mall one day and heard tires screech and then got nailed or something.
Maybe. Uh,
So yeah, there's things that, like anything in life, you learn from some things better than others. So no single mothers and no adultery.
yeah, that's good. Do you consider yourself a moral person? Like, do you have like a set of morals that you just like a moral code you can't just pass? I know you holding a
Do you have one? Because since you're asking, I feel like maybe you have one on your mind, and that'll give me a moment to think.
uh, I mean, I would never sleep with someone who is married. Uh,
Okay,
just
but let me ask you this:
all
what if
right.
you didn't know she was married, and so then you already slept with her, and then you found out she
That's
was
different.
married?
That's different. That's different. It's
So
when
you
you
may say
know.
you'll never sleep with a married woman, but if you don't know better, you might.
Yeah, if I don't know, then it's different. And let's be perfectly honest. If I was single and I ran into a married chick and I knew she was married, and it was just like things happen too, you know. So I
Dude,
can't.
yeah, she'll like. What if she started sending you videos of her stripping in her living room and like
Yeah, I couldn't
nude
rule out.
photos all day, and like
I couldn't rule out everything, especially if I
she's
knew I.
like, "Call me master," just or
Yeah,
I mean, I'll call you master, and like, who knows?
yeah, I couldn't rule everything out, but just typically, yeah, I would avoid someone who's married.
So
Um,
your morals are no married chicks.
yeah, like getting as far as getting with someone, um, I don't know, because I was raised with like a pretty high view of in some ways of marriage, and in my own personal life, I saw a lot of the aspects of what happens when people cheat and just like the domino effects that happen. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
there's always someone getting hurt, and definitely, probably bigger than the marriage thing though is like banging a friend's wife or banging a friend's girlfriend or something like that. And I've known dudes that have done that to their friends, and it's like you got to be like the shittiest person. I had a friend. He's still a friend. I saw him a few months ago before this COVID thing broke out, and this dude who claimed, "Oh yeah, we're the best of friends," went to his house while he was at work and just banged his girlfriend years ago. And luckily, the guy's got a good wife now and all that stuff who doesn't do that type of shit. But like, just I don't know, like people like that.
Do you remember when we first started talking, and then like, do you remember when you stopped talking to me for like 2 or 3 days because of something like that? You remember when I
Um,
talked about that?
when you talked about what?
Oh, banging a friend's wife. You remember when we were messaging, and then you like quit talking to me for several days?
Uh, no, because it probably wasn't calculated. It was probably just situation.
No. This was very at the beginning. So let me run it by you because it's funny. It still makes me laugh because like you asked me one day, like when we first started talking, you were like, "Oh, which do you like better, like art or writing?" You remember this?
No, not
And
really. But
I
what
said,
was
I put something like, "Well, art's nice because I can color things pink, but I like to write because then I can talk about killing my best friend in front of his wife and fucking her." And this was when we were like freshly, like you didn't know me, like you didn't know, and I just let that fly, and that ran for days. Like you didn't say anything, and then when he finally came back, I think I asked if that bothered you something. You're like, yeah, but I let it go or something like that because it was fucking hilarious. Because on
huh?
my end, it was kind of like a joke, but it was also sort of enforcing why I like writing. But yeah,
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
remember laughing because I just let that thing fly, and it was like
yeah,
seen like right away, and then it just went days where like it still cracks me up. I don't know why. That's
yeah. It definitely because I don't remember it. It definitely didn't impact me or anything like that. But
well, I just remember he
yeah,
said something like, "Oh, it was, came out of the blue," or like something, or because it was when we very first talked, and I don't think you had made any clear judgment. It might have been the first few days because it was me like being me where I test people and I don't know, I throw shit out there just to see like reactions.
no.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You've never said anything that's like offended me. Like, I knew we were going to be pretty good friends when you said it off the bat that your favorite writer was Layman. So,
Oh. Oh, so
yeah,
I could have said anything. I could have actually been myself after that. Oh, here
yeah,
we go then. Get ready. No.
I mean, the only thing that would end our friendship that I could realistically see is if one day I saw you on the news getting handcuffed for like exposing yourself to kids on a playground or something like that. That's pretty much it, dude. Like if I found out you were like sleeping with your, let's go the horrible route. Let's say you're sleeping with your brother's wife. Like,
Okay.
that's about as low as you can get with being in the legal realm.
Now, what if there's a reason to have my clothes off at the park?
There could be like the movie, the what is that? Fuck.
Horrible bosses.
Yeah, horrible bosses. Wasn't he like having to take a shit or something like that?
Yeah, he was drunk and he pissed at a playground at night at like
Yeah,
12:30 at night or something.
yeah. If it was like that situation, then I'd just think it was hilarious. I'd be like, dude, you got like the worst luck in the world. That's something that could happen to anyone. But yeah, I mean, even if you banged your brother's wife, I'd be like, dude, that's pretty shitty. Like, you're probably gonna have to make it up the rest of your life, and that's probably not gonna be possible. But I'd still be your friend. Like, you haven't ever done anything towards me that's been like, oh, I gotta watch out for this guy.
It's because we've never even met in person.
Yeah, that could be it. But then, before we started doing the podcast, you said, oh, I remember when I first brought it up, you were like, yeah, but sometimes you don't have that chemistry with talking. It's different. And I think we do pretty well. I mean, we've talked for 3 hours now, so.
Yeah, no, I was worried that, you meet people online, but you don't, just because they can type and you can read it back to yourself with your own
Voice.
way of speaking. Yeah, I didn't know. What if you're like super socially awkward and then I had to pretend you're not? Or what if I seem socially awkward to you and then you got to pretend I'm not? Or like, I don't know. I didn't want to enter into that boat. Or like I said, where we don't play off each other and we just kind of, yep, and
yeah, but it hasn't been like that. Like, I think especially this podcast has flowed really nicely. But
yeah, bad.
but I consider you a friend. Like, we talk all the time. I would say that I know you to an extent. I don't know you in person, so
there's no me to know. Don't go all chick on me. There's nobody to know.
Dude, I don't. This is fine. I'm not gonna like fly out to Houston and find you.
I don't mean that. I just meant like there's sometimes chicks are like, I want to know you, and they think there's like
something
like a treasure map, or there's like something they have to accomplish by a certain period of time. And there's nothing there. That's like the sad truth, maybe. Maybe it's not sad. Maybe it's a good truth. It's like there's nobody to find. I just am who I am. Why at this point of where I am?
Yeah, I don't know. If we ever met in person, that'd be cool. If we didn't ever meet in person, that's cool. It's whatever.
That depends if we do this movie, Fat Dragons.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I could see it now, man. I could see it. Opening scene, bikini girls in the street washing a car. In the background's a donut shop.
We would have to put
thugs enter the donut shop, and there's like the donut owner guy he's an Oriental guy, right? Like a kung fu guy.
Yeah, old.
Yeah, he's a kung fu guy, old. Warren and the thugs come in. They're like, "Hey, man, give us your cash." He's like, "No, not with my awesome kung fu." And he battles them, but then they shoot him, and then they take his prize kung fu artifact, and then the guys run out with it, and then the fat dragons jump in. They like jump in the door like, wow, fat dragons, but we're not dragons yet. And we're like, oh, old kung fu guy that we love, what happened? Oh, these guys took my prized possession. You must return it. You must go get it, and here are these rings that will help you. No, wait, wrestling belts, right? Wrestling belts?
It was going to be a donut because it was a donut shop.
Oh, a donut. Here's a Kung Fu Dragon donut. Take this and avenge me. Oh, and he dies. And they're like, oh, no. Our favorite best friend, Kung Fu guy. And then our car's driving down the street. And we're like, we'll avenge you, Kung Fu guy. And we take a hard turn and kick him out the door. And his dead body tumbles. And we're like, bye, Kung Fu guy. And then, oh, that's as far as I gotten.
Well, the one critique that I would add is he shouldn't be just some random kung fu guy. He should be our father.
Oh, father. I was thinking friend.
Yeah,
okay, father, yeah.
I always think it's funny when the main characters are related, but they're unexplainably a different race. Like when I watched Double Dragons, the two brothers, like one's very much Asian, and the other one's just a white dude, and yet they're brothers.
Yeah, the super white dude, that guy from Party of Five.
Yeah. See, we need something like that, and then like
Yeah,
our mom could be a black lady.
and then every new scene we go to, we'd have to have like bikini girls in the street washing a car. Just somehow everywhere they go, there's like bikini girls washing cars or something.
Pretty much, yeah. Just sky's the limit. All we need is like good script. I was talking to my brother about it, and he was like, "Well, you're gonna have pretty much creative reign, just so."
Again, I'd be wanting to like direct it, edit it. I'd like want to do everything ourselves.
Yeah.
I'd have a hard time just like kicking it to somebody else. Like, oh, do your best. Here's the source material.
Well, yeah. Like if we did something like that, we would stick to the script. We would make it how we saw fit. So,
Dude, we'd have to be involved because I'd have to like study and do my homework on like the tit shots, getting them just right, and like because you don't want to just do that on any old afternoon. You want to get good lighting and like.
well, and
Right
then
time of
also
day.
we gotta do recruiting for the female actresses.
Exactly.
And so you'd have to do your rehearsal of your untamed heart type scene where you're gripping the breasts and touching them.
Definitely have to make sure that she's of high caliber personality.
Yeah. That her acting skills are top notch.
And her face isn't even in the movie.
We have like 5 hours of you just rehearsing gripping breasts.
Dude, there should be like a female character that we never show her face.
Just her
Like
tits.
just every scene like that she's in, yeah, we're like focused on something, so it's only her tits in the shot. We never get to see her face.
That could be a possibility. Speaking of like watching dirty movies, we'll have to like talk behind the scenes about what to do with the script. But I watched the first Flesh Gordon.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. You didn't see the first one though, did you?
No, I saw the Cosmic Cheerleaders.
Was that one pretty funny or?
No, it's like I told you. Like I wasn't recommending it when I talked about it. I was just saying that, that it has funny moments, and like you said, the characters' names are funny.
No,
I don't know if the big dildo spaceship was in the first one or not.
it was.
Okay. So things like that, but overall, it's really just like the women and the tits that carry you along.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. That's how it was for the first one. Like,
No, it wasn't like when I recommended Danger 5 or I recommended like, I don't know, The Burbs or House Shark. It wasn't like that. It was just I was talking about it because that's the kind of movie I could see making where like it's good intention, but it's so like it was just so made by the own directors themselves, whereas like something they liked and it's so particular that it's good, but it's not. It's just I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Save me.
done more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some good parts to the first Flesh Gordon. Like I thought it was pretty funny when Flesh Gordon was yelling at the controls, I'm doing the best I can, jerk off.
When it's so low budget, like all the special effects and everything are just so basement.
Yeah, well, that's how our movie would be low budget, and then it would be the tits that would carry it through.
Oh, dude, it'd be so low budget. Our whole production would have to be at the park. We'd have to like paint wood to look like a building. Like fake fronts, like just painted.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of like the fight scenes from Power Rangers in the park.
Yeah, would be, yeah,
Park.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the show Aquabat Super Show, that was always at the park a lot.
Yeah, well, it's because parks are easy to film at.
Oh yeah.
And there's always extras around that are always willing. You don't have to seek them out. I think the hard part for us would be actually finding a chick that would be willing for what we could pay to be topless.
I think the real problem would be once we find the chick, who gets to marry her? Because we're talking about like a unicorn, something that doesn't exist. So we'd fight over. Fat dragons would turn into a real life battle.
That would be the ending of the movie, just us slapping at each other.
And the chick not really wanting either of us, but we're still fighting over her, like she'll go with one of us.
Yeah. Now the volleyball scene, that's the one I'm most excited about because I picture like these chicks like buried almost just like up to their just above their navel to where their like arms are out and their only way of trying to flag us down in this volleyball court is to remove their tops and start swinging them for us.
Well, the problem is if you bury them that deep, you won't be able to see their tits.
No, but only up to the like the navel. Like you keep them like
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, just like just above the waist, to where it looks like they're sinking and but their tits are still hanging out and stuff. And that I think that would be pretty easy to do. Like just find a volleyball court, dig it
Yeah, we'll
out a
have a lot
bit.
of good scenes. There'd be a lot of good scenes if we put it together. The problem is I don't have enough belief in number one, us being able to finance it. Two, even distributing. I have a Prime account for video where I can upload videos, but even that, I don't think would ever make enough return on what we spent.
You would be surprised. My brother actually knows someone. He said what he said was he knows someone who did a horror film, and that horror film is making that guy after he's paid everything like $1,000 a month. He was like, you just got to make low budget horror films, and then start with your passion projects after. I personally am of the opinion that the passion projects can be. Why not do the passion projects and see what happens? Like, why
Yeah,
wouldn't
I mean,
something like that?
on the good point, our passion project isn't a $150 million movie. It's a very low, low, low budget indie basement cardboard cutout
Yeah, I
things
think
like.
I think like my brother, when I've mentioned ideas to him before, I think he's gotten it in his head that it would cost a hell of a lot of money, and I've already told him ways that we could bring the cost down, which I'm surprised he hasn't thought of it. You find college students to act in it, and you offer catering and experience. The catering is
Like
going
I
to
said,
cost
if you get hot
$100.
enough chicks, you'll get the guys. It'll be getting the
Oh
chicks
yeah,
involved that will be the hardest.
oh yeah, and it would be finding chicks that would be willing to be topless, but you find actresses. There's enough schools like in Boise, and even if we just did it in Houston, there's enough probably like acting schools, universities and stuff where you could go to the theater and be like, hey, we're making a low budget film. Would you like experience and catering and blah 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 blah, and maybe we can give you $100. I bet you anything we could find someone who at least just wants to get their name out there a little bit with some experience.
Yeah. Well, the hard part is just like Flesh Gordon, the caliber of chick is going to be greatly important.
Yeah,
Not even their acting. I don't care if they can't act and they have to hold if they have to hold the screenplay in front of them and read it while we shoot, that's fine. Like
dude, that would
they just
actually
have to
be
look good.
funny. That would actually be funny.
Just the
Like,
way they look has to be the right level.
yeah, as long as they're topless the whole entire time, I don't think anybody would care.
Also, I mean, like it's got to be like, yeah, it can't, yeah, they have to be pretty good looking to pull the weight that element needs to pull.
So you're basically saying if we have someone like Natalie Portman, we're gold.
Yeah, we could do that. I don't think she'll do it.
Hey Natalie, you want to come back to our movie?
Yeah, you've never
Topless?
done a topless scene. You want
You want to come do this scene for some catering and $100?
to?
See,
Yeah,
that's what we need.
I don't have a. Go ahead.
We need to find an actress that is willing to use another actress's name. That way, it spikes our movie up.
Well, we could you could give her any name you want, I suppose, on the credits.
Yeah.
I mean, the character's name in the movie could be Natalie Portman. That way, it's protected by the label of fiction.
Yeah. Here now for our costumes, are we wearing spandex pants? Is that what
Dude, we're going like 70s wrestler, 80s bodybuilder with like spandex pants, boots, we may wear like tank tops that are ripped so low they're like these belly shirts. We're gonna eat donuts every morning so we can get our guts nice and like bloated.
Oh, and dude, like the Road Warrior wore around his biceps, we got to wear those bands with the little leather strands, and then like
Yeah,
a sweatband, our colored sweatbands on our heads.
dude, we should do like Clark Kent style. Like when we're not fat dragons, we're wearing like big dorky glasses and our hair's like alfalfa, you know, like we're like
Yeah,
nerdy, and then we come out and we're like fat dragons, and we're like
let's see.
terrible
And
badasses.
when here's the thing: instead of going into a telephone booth, we'll go into one of those porn booths that we were talking about earlier.
Well, I don't. Depends on the budget. We may just be walking behind a tree.
Probably. I don't know, dude. I think we could pull it off. I think we could actually pull it off better than we think.
No, we could. I'm not. I 100% think we could make it. I'm worried about how invested I'd get into it, and then how much of my own money would get into it, and how much money I'll never make back again.
Dude, just write the script. You don't have to invest your own money into it. We'll figure it
That's
out.
what you're saying. And then,
Yeah.
then the other part is you keep talking about your brother, but dude, like I said, if we did it, I'd want us to be the directors. I'd want us to edit the footage. I'd want us to be the ones to decide on the music. I'd want us to do casting. Like I'm, yeah, I'm a what's that called, a bridezilla, and the film would be my wedding.
You're right. Yeah, we could still do it that way. He's just got all the cameras, or I could. I mean, what he said to me the other day was if I applied myself, I could know more than he knows in 4 months if I just watched YouTube and just went out and practiced. So, I mean, there's always that.
You're even talking cameras. I mean, I'd run out there with some iPhones, film it.
It's funny because you can make a low budget film on iPhones.
And I think people are kind of getting more used to videos on your phone and the look. So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, we could do that and run around with some like newish iPhones and just.
yeah, I don't think you're understanding how low budget I'm trying to go here. Like I said, the donut shop we can't even have it rent out unless somebody wants to give it to us for free to see some tits. I think we'll be having to like paint on wood our own
donut shop.
facade. Yeah.
Well, shit, if you want to really go that low budget, we could.
Well, I'm just saying because just because we drop it on Amazon Prime, I feel like although videos are way more consumed than books, I feel like it's going to be the Kindle
Yeah.
all over again. And
Yeah,
at least Kindle, I just put time. I haven't put any money.
it probably will be, dude. And the funny thing is I don't think the budget is necessarily a big deal. I don't think being low budget is a big deal as long as you've got something unique. You know what I mean? Like, I think if we put our imaginations together and gave people something different, I think we could probably make some money off of it.
I mean, you have to keep in mind that we praise things like House Shark, or not that you praise Flesh Gordon, but like the things that we think are funny, you can just look at those and see what kind of reception they get,
Yeah.
right? So like that right there. I mean, there's a chance that some will shine brighter and you can outdo that, but there's a very like high chance that you won't even reach that caliber. Like you'll be somewhere below that. So it sounds awesome, but it's so niche,
Yeah.
and like there'd be the level of like nudity and pervertedness might be so high that it just isn't going to draw enough people.
Well, one thing we could do is fat dragons, and then we could put our heads together and like try to make a layman-esque horror film, like something that's got the humor, kind of like Porky's meets Friday the 13th. That way, we could draw in that horror crowd.
True. I mean, really, if we both had money to not go to our jobs, and we could take time off, and we had some money, let's just say $1,000, and we had $1,000 to put towards the movie, and we had 4 months that we didn't have to go to work, that we could pay our own living expenses.
Uh-huh.
I think our best bet would be to make real short videos for YouTube and TikTok and Instagram where it's like super low budget. Like you and I at a park, and each episode we battle like a terribly made paper mache creature, kind of like making fun of Power Rangers and stuff. And it's like these
Yeah.
terrible fights. So it doesn't have to have a lot of script. Like, well, it'll be this very short script, but it'll be these terrible fights, and like, and then just see how much traction that gets. So like the first episode, we could fight a giant breast, like a giant paper mache breast with somebody in it, wearing like a spandex suit and a big old nipple, and then we fight and like have this terrible dialogue and just make things like that and see how far that even takes us before we threw any large sums of money and time into it.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. Well,
And then if it got traction, if people thought it was funny, then we could, okay, let's try to write something but we do short skits, so it's like sampling what our sensibilities are to test
yeah,
the
I
water.
think that's probably wiser. Why don't we try to do that? Like once this COVID shit clears up, it would be as easy as me just like flying out to Houston for a few days, shoot on some iPhones, and I mean, it would be kind of hard to pack a paper mache breast, but I mean, if I like took a week off, and you've got the art skills for that, right?
No, we'd make it here. You're not gonna fly with this thing. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna cover the
Yeah,
whole person's body,
yeah. So if I
practically,
like,
except for their stick legs sticking out.
yeah, if I took a week off or something like that, went out to Houston, and you were making it around that time, and got someone to be in it, like even if it was just another friend of yours or something, that'd be
I
fun.
don't have friends though.
Well, that's why we just find someone at a park that's willing to wear a paper mache breast.
Yeah, no, I'm sure we could find somebody to do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If we didn't, then
Well, if you came down, we'd have to have more. We'd have to plan several so we could shoot, because just shooting one and then taking
It'd be a
months
waste
and
of
months and
time.
months off is just, yeah, it doesn't do anything, because the way social media is, it's just by saturation.
Yeah.
So we'd have to at least shoot several. Yeah, that'd be a way to start. We'd have to think of like what kind of strange attacks giant breasts could do. Like a milk attack and like I don't know what else, a motorboat and like silly things.
Dude, I'm down. Let's do that. Let's just get together on Messenger, come up with ideas for shorts. I still want to throw in the beach volleyball scene somehow. So either
Yeah, I
you,
was trying to think of something where it's only like 3 people involved, so we can actually get it done.
yeah. Well,
It's
I
like
mean,
you, me, and a monster. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I've got enough friends though in Boise that I could probably pull. They would know chicks who would actually be willing to be in it just to be in it.
Shit, man, I'll put a giant tit on my dog, and she'll just run around, and we'll act like it's fighting us.
Yeah, it works. Whatever. Yeah. I think
See, it's so funny to us, but it's because we'd actually be gaining the enjoyment of doing it, whereas the
yeah.
viewer is so much less enjoyment. So I don't know how much it'd be, how much people would like it. Let us know in the comments.
I think I think you'd be surprised. I think all it takes, like you said, but I think videos are a better lottery system than books, definitely.
Oh, definitely,
Especially
yeah.
if you're making like no more than like 10-minute videos, 5-minute videos, and
Well, especially because of the way it's consumed, like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, they're all free. So
yeah,
there's no, I mean, the only cost is their time, but you can stop it at any moment. So like the buy-in is so low, where a book is a lot. You pay your money, plus they're going to spend their time. It's like there's a lot to sacrifice. So yeah,
yeah,
videos are good. We can think about, start thinking this week about I mean, I don't know if we should, you think it's better if we collaborate on one monster, or we each do our own and kind of like write up a real short script, and then like the fight scene will just have to be choreographed at the time.
I think
Yeah.
putting our heads together will probably be better. I think you got a good idea with the breast monster. That's interesting.
Okay, so we can, why don't this week we just I don't know, let the idea kind of linger and see if anything pops up in our heads for like attacks or ways to decorate. Like first it could come out in a giant bra, and as we destroy it, the bra falls off, and then things like that.
Dude, I gotta see you like, and you gotta plant your mouth on the nipple at some point.
And it'll act like it's like blowing milk, and so our cheeks will like
Oh,
blow up
dude,
real big.
and if it's your dog in the breast outfit, we got to show a clip of your dog's face on the other end, just looking all depressed, wearing this big ass breast.
She'll probably run around trying to get that thing off, so it might work.
People are just gonna see two grown men in spandex running around a park chasing a dog in a breast
Yeah,
outfit.
dude, a huge breast. I'm talking like humans, like male, like grown male size. Like the whole
Like
sphere is that size.
like a like 6 foot tall.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Like a huge giant sphere with
Yeah.
a buttery nipple.
I think we'll have to probably get a few people because we could get like some sort of like we could put a hose of some sort with like a pump where we could pump milk out the nipple.
Yeah, well, you can have two props, and then the nipple prop for shooting would be a cutscene where you zoom in more and
And
then
it
you
just shows
project
it.
it. So, but yeah, I guess we need 4 people.
Yeah.
Well, it depends if we use my dog, but somebody has to film.
Yeah.
Actually, we could probably do it where the shots where we're together, we just have a fixed position, and then we could actually film each other for the closer angles of the fights. So we might be able to shoot it just ourselves, actually,
Yeah.
if we're clever. I don't know how interested you are in that, but I think we could.
Dude, if that works with us, and then that's fine. If
Just
we're
the
gonna
less
do it,
people is easier to
yeah,
manage.
yeah. If we ever do a feature film of fat dragons, though, I'd
Oh
like.
yeah, we need a cameraman for sure.
Well, and I'd love to throw in that beach volleyball scene.
Yeah, no, we're keeping that. I'm just saying we can make these shorts to kind of start to build a.
Little
I
fan
mean,
base.
hell, we could put the video on this channel too, so that it helps feed each other. You know.
Yeah, that would probably be pretty wise because then it's our thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Plus, we could film it behind the scenes as we make it. We
yeah,
could take turns with the camera filming.
the behind the scenes.
Putting it on my dog, seeing the dog run around like nuts, or I don't know.
I think it'd be fun, even if it was just like we're doing the podcast here and there, and then just doing some skits. It would at least be enough to garner interest in or whatever we're doing. So
Okay, how about this too? Not that I don't like making homework because it's but while we're letting things like percolate about our big tit villain,
uh,
um, like put in your mind to have your subconscious think about scenes that we could do for fat dragons where like individual scenes. Like what would a fat dragon do? Like is there anything that would be funny while the fat dragon's brushing his teeth or like these real small random moments that we could start to describe the characters so that when people watch like it by the time we get to the movie they already have this like real good understanding of like how retarded these characters are or something. I don't know how clear that was what I just said, but
yeah, it makes perfect sense. Like we want to make them look as dumb as possible. That way, people are like already getting to the ridiculous swing of it.
yeah, well, and I just meant something that would be like a small segment where I could just film myself, or you could just film where we don't have to be together, but it would help to inform the characters. So maybe scenes where we're not together, where like whatever your name is, what'd you say your name was going to be, Billy or
I don't remember.
Jack, or I can't remember. But like like you struggling, like if you're, I don't know, I can't think. Like you're putting on your shoe and like I don't know, a spider comes out and you like immediately jump into your fat dragon outfit, like bing, and your fat dragon, and then you're like trying to stomp this. I don't know. I'm thinking on the fly, but something like that where like we can actually shoot apart from each other. But these
Yeah,
small video clips might help to just be videos for people to watch and like I don't know, maybe build an audience.
yeah. I mean, let's do that. I've got a digital camera here.
You
So I
can just
mean,
film on your phone.
yeah. Well, I don't got a phone right now, but
Oh,
digital camera is just as good. So, I actually got a few different things, but like some lights, some different shit. But Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything special. Like I haven't really looked into lighting or anything, so any camera will really do. I could come up with some ideas and do like a character video. You could do a character video. Now you're red, I'm blue, so we just really got to settle down on the outfits, and then we can do some like individual
Yeah,
skins. And it
yeah. I'm
even
not saying to start right away. I'm just saying to
yeah,
like start having in your mind maybe you know how ideas come to you. Like you don't
yeah,
actually think about it, but it's kind of in the back of your mind somewhere. Yeah,
yeah,
like
but then
that.
it just jumps out. Well, and
Yeah,
even then, with some editing software, we could edit each other into the same video
that's true. That's
somehow.
true.
Yeah. So I'll
If it's
just
the right thing, yeah.
yeah, I'll brush up on some editing and some other stuff, um, and look into it a bit.
Okay. Well, maybe we've come to the end of
Yeah,
this
it's
podcast.
yeah, it's been going 3.5 hours. I think we did good.
Nobody's with us at this point. It's just you and me.
Yeah, but I mean, it was fun. So,
Yeah, yeah.
all right,
I
man.
know.
I'll think about fat dragons. I'm gonna get something to eat and go take a leak, anyways. So,
All right, man. Have a good day. I'll see you later.
yeah, talk to you later, man. Bye.
Bye.